Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our intro for Hellboy, the role-playing game. We're here to play through the quick start. I'm Mark Langworthy over at Red Scar, and tonight I will be playing Alexandra Zarkova, who is our kind of counter-terrorism in the BPRD, and there to hopefully keep everybody else safe.
So I'm Dr. Marcus Hansard Jr. So I've been in way too long. I've seen everything. Nothing surprises me anymore. I've got stains that I've pretty much forgotten what they are, and they stink as bad as they look. Between me and you, I'm 2 months away from a desk job. I just need it to not get messed up. James, how about you?
Me, I'm Reverend Jeremy Peters, former US Army chaplain. These days, BPRD exorcist extraordinaire. Maybe not extraordinaire, exorcist normalaire. I don't know what the what's one step down from extraordinaire. But yeah, basically, my main thing is I'm a bit concerned about rumours of changes in the team structure because I've kind of just got used to this team, and I'm not liking the idea that things are going to change around here.
Hi, so I'm Sophie and I'm playing Mona. She's a no-nonsense team leader who is good with a gun, likes to delegate and protect her team.
I guess that just leaves me. Hi, I'm Quinn, and I'm playing Francesca. She is an archaeologist who had the misfortune of realizing that a curse on a tomb she was excavating is real and has kind of been roped into the BPRD to kind of help keep that a secret. And she has recently been manifesting psychic powers.
Oh,
It's always archaeologists, you know?
it's every time, every time.
I mean, look at any Tomb Raider game ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're nothing but troublemakers.
I'm Alex Delaney. I'm one of the writers and rules developers for Hellboy the RPG, and I will be herding the cats and keeping as much of the doom as I can in front of the players. Hellboy the RPG uses the ever-popular 5th edition engine, which is a D20 plus ability modifier plus a skill bonus. However, we've made some alterations to really make it for it to really deliver on the Hellboy property. You will hear references to Doom and Ingenuity. Every time a result is determined by a D20 roll, the players roll a D10 on a roll of a 1. Fate is against them, and the grand designs of the enemies, they may succeed, but there may be another complication as a point of Doom is generated. Equally, on a roll of a 10, they will generate a point of ingenuity where inspiration strikes and it all lines up perfectly and they make all of the green lights between where they're going and the airport. Ingenuity is the main currency of Hellboy the RPG. A lot of class features are powered by it, and they allow you to do all manner of heroic and wonderful things, which we'll get into later on. And we also have a thing called focus checks, which you will see at various stages, which are our way of bringing that uncertainty of when you try and line up a shot on a ghost and the ghost has other ideas. So, having arrived from the States, our team have received a briefing that they are to investigate a place called Uxley Hall. BPRD has received a request from Duncan Frost, an up-and-coming member of the Conservative Party. It's a low priority investigation. There are reports that it is a haunting. The ghost appears to be that of Mary Pym, one of the former residents. And her presence has caused some upset, and the agents have been charged with resolving the haunting and seeing if you can help her pass on, ideally, though it's not a requirement. To date, the ghost has only been viewed at night. Uxley Hall, on your way on the long plane journey over from the States, you have ample opportunity to read the small wad of papers that the BPRD has from the Land Registry and various other agencies. Uxley Hall transferred in ownership when the last of the Uxley family was killed during the First World War. From then until 4 years ago, it was owned by the Uxley family's loyal servant, Reginald Pennyworth, and his descendants, Edward, and then his grandson Robert, who died 4 years ago, and ownership has reverted from there. As always with BPRD investigations, where there's smoke, there's fire, and usually there may not be a lot of smoke, but there are at least several fires. So if you find any other oddities, resolve them. The main witness that reported the haunting is an individual by the name of Matthew Donnell, who is a building surveyor. He was trying to ascertain whether or not the property could be sold on. And an appointment has been made to meet him at the local pub in the town that the hall borders.
Okie dokie.
I mean, so far sounds like, you know, another day in the BPRD, right?
Exactly.
Ectoplasm takes ages to get out of my uniform.
Do you not think though they're like, it's all fine and good for us to be, you know, spending our resources flying halfway across the world to fix these things, but maybe they could be, you know, getting some kind of local office in place. I'm not saying like BPRD worldwide or anything. I'm not saying that we should be doing that, but surely other countries should be stepping up.
Especially for a low priority. I mean, but I guess we'll have a look.
So you arrive at the airport, have to sign a number of various waivers about the amount of firepower that you're bringing into the UK.
We probably should have got a private plane, to be fair.
Well, low priority. Apparently, Big Red was using the plane again.
Really worth economy.
Although he tells you that every time. So you pick up your BPRD vehicle, which, as always, is a giant 4x4 with tinted windows in the uniform black of "We are totally a friendly federal agency. Pay no attention to citizen." On the UK roads, it feels like a tank because it virtually is.
Those country lanes are going to be fine.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't one way before, but they are now. As you drive down the various winding country lanes, and as requested, you stop off at the last city to inform the local constabulary that you are federal agents. You do have the official. These are the serial numbers of all our guns. Here is our contact information in case you think it's us. And then you drive on to the town surrounding Uxley Hall. The appointment with Matthew was at the local pub, which is the Lock 13. You arrive late afternoon, about 3-4 o'clock. Can I get a group intelligence history check?
Yes.
Okay. Intelligence history.
18 for me.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Come on, first roll.
Don't forget your bonus D10.
Oh, is that added as well, or is that just?
No, it's just
Just
if
a
there's
1 or a
10,
Yeah,
let me know.
Just to, I'm not flexing or anything, but 24.
Someone read the dossier.
No, someone has a +6 to history and rolled an 18.
That
So
would also help.
I rolled a 12, Alex, but I make that with a shudder because I also generated a point of doom.
Ooh, right.
Boom.
So Alexandra clearly reading the local UK terror reports rather than the dossiers. Francesca, as it turns out, was the one that put the dossiers together, as it would seem.
I mean, you know, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I prefer papers and dusty old bones, but here we are with ghosts.
As long as it's not a manual about how to open a tomb, Francesca loves it.
I kind of shiver and duck and look out the window, and I do not like the feel of this place.
I'm resoundingly listening to a Walkman and not reading anything or paying attention to anyone with my mighty 8. So
You know, there's one thing worse than not getting any sleep on a long haul flight, and that's getting sleep on a long haul flight because somehow you always feel worse as you nestle in the back of the 4x4.
I got a natural one.
Okay, so you rolled a natural one outside of combat. Did you generate any Doom or Ingenuity? Did you roll a 1 or a 10?
I rolled a 1, so I rolled a d10 after, yeah?
Mhm.
I also rolled a 1 on that.
Oh, okay. The Doom begins again.
So
So-
this is
How
not
do you-
starting well for us. This is what you're
Well,
saying.
The only
So-
way that we can go is up, right?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
hope so. The first roll, I've just got it out of the way. Double 1.
I'm just picturing a Home Alone moment, like we've left him back at the airport, you know.
Yeah.
Marcus clearly had a argument with a vending machine at the airport whilst the SUV was being pulled around. Money's money, just take it.
Yeah. Is this a euro?
You're getting a little bit hungry over there.
Yes.
That too,
always.
maybe. You didn't get your snack. So
In fact, with those points of doom, you take a couple of wrong turns on your route to the local town. You're fairly sure. Well, why would anyone have a driveway that long if it's just it's to a farm? Oh, he's coming out. Okay, maybe we should back up. And then round about the third time, okay, well this one's still gravel. And why is this a cul-de-sac? Why is there and round you go. At one stage, you see a police car going in the direction that you were. Perhaps some locals not used to seeing a giant SUV drive around their street several times, but you're able to avoid any diplomatic incidents.
Okay.
However, with your research roles, Francesca, doing a bit of local research with the various dossiers that you've got and burrowing down and remembering to ask at the various kind of police stations about, well, has there been any odd things? Usually shortly before Alexandra is asking about, and what is your containment procedure and what is the local state of awareness? But you are able to pick out that Mary Pym, who was married to Arthur Uxley.
okay.
And the Uxleys towards the end were not in the best standing in the local aristocracy. There were rumours of Mary's fate being suicide, and there were rumours of births out of wedlock, which back at the turn of the century would have been enough of a scandal to cause various upsets in the social scene.
Okay.
Alexandra, you have a ability called Recovered Case Files, where you can dip into the Special Science Services wealth of recovered data. Just don't ask them how they got it. Would you like to use that now?
Yeah, so I'll just read it out for the benefit of the viewers. So case file is a branch feature for myself. For each case file, you can start with one additional level of clearance using the case files that security and support staff recovered in a past operation. Just don't ask where they got it for or how. The additional information grants you the next level of background information as if you had an additional level of clearance. You must complete a case file before you can use this feature again. So it's a one-shot use for this case file. Do we want to gain that extra bit of information right now, or should I save it for a future role?
I personally think you should save it because we've had so much information already. It feels like we might want to.
Let's wait till we know what we need to know. That's
And
probably
it's a
Yeah.
low priority. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
I hadn't twigged that you're ex-SSS. That's interesting. That's something that maybe I hadn't noticed until now. You sure you're on the right side?
Yeah. What are you insinuating, Rev?
Nothing. I mean, I'm sure, our Russian equivalent is absolutely, definitely not spying on us.
You remember we drank this out last time you asked?
If I was drinking, that's probably why I don't remember.
I think we need to save this for whatever's happening. Like, we can't have any bickering, right? I didn't get a Snickers from the vending machine. Let's just crack on
I'm
with the
only
mission.
joking, right? Come on, look, this is gonna be absolute cakewalk. We'll go in here, find out there's some old lady's ghost hanging around. We deal with that. I mean,
Bish,
we can be
bash,
home by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
gonna-
even.
I'm going to reach into my pocket and pull out a small bag of peanuts that I nabbed off of the flight and hand them over to Marcus.
the biggest
I'm-
handful.
Just
They go.
like, just like, here, eat. We all know what you're like when you're hungry.
Thank you.
I don't even know why we all need to be sent, to be honest with you. We only need like a couple of us for something so minor. This must just be some sort of box ticking exercise.
Well, you are the boss, no?
Well, like maybe they've got to spend their budget this month to prove that they need it next month. So, why not send 5 agents, rather than, the one that it really needs. Let's be honest. Like, it's just a ghost. I mean, I specialize in guns. What I'm going to do, shoot it?
I mean, depending
Just make sure we're not in the way first, yeah?
Well, that depends on whether you listen to me when I tell you where to be.
I'm listening, don't you worry.
If anyone
Good,
could
good.
not get shot by each other, that'd be great. I've got limited supplies.
Or
like-
on the other side of the ghost yet?
That's a good point, yeah.
I only brought a little medical bag. Just let's go.
Well, let's go find this. We're looking for Matthew Donnell. We're looking for. Should
So
we go and see
you
if he's in
pull,
here?
so you pull up outside of the 13th lock, which is a upmarket pub that's clearly been renovated in the last few years. You park up outside your SUV, dwarfing everything else in the village, in the town. You wander in, and the first thing that hits you is the smell of food, of mildly sticky tables, something called small batch beer, which somehow just wafts through the door even more, and you are immediately aware that this town does not normally have too many people coming through it, and standing there with your sidearms on your hip and your BPRD vests, you suddenly feel very self-conscious. But in the corner, you're waved down by a individual who, having done several field operations, given the lack of colour in his face, is probably the person that you're looking for, Matthew.
Yeah.
He waves you over to a table and assembles some chairs. He appears to be several drinks in.
Francesca is weirdly at home here since she's back in her homeland. she's just like, oh, I've missed this smell.
All I can
Good
picture,
old classic English country pub.
all I can picture is the slaughtered lamb from American Werewolf in London.
Day after moors.
Well, I will stride over with purpose to this Matthew, and I will say to him as I sit down, Matthew.
Yes. Hello.
Ah.
Sorry. Yes, I'm Matthew. I called. Hi, and he extends a shaking hand.
I will give a very firm handshake and then wave over the rest of the group in a very kind of authoritative fashion.
I just take out a
Maybe
notepad,
Too
click your pen.
authoritative. Yeah.
Yep.
Just over there, right?
I'm gonna take up a spot near the fireplace so I can hopefully it gives me a good scan of the entrance doorway and the entire room, so I can just keep a good eye on everybody coming and going and kind of
Okay.
sweep up.
Understood.
And look rather threatening. Or not threatening, intimidating.
There's that fine line.
Yeah.
I know he looks pale, but can I see if he's got any other symptoms of anything?
You
else?
certainly
Just-
can. You can make me a wisdom medicine check. as the conversation continues. So if you want to roll that now, and we will resolve it at a dramatically appropriate moment.
Sounds good. Quick roll.
So Matthew explains that I'm terribly sorry. And he goes, maybe I should just start at the beginning. So you're not interested in that. So it started with I went in during the day to do some measurements and to ascertain whether or not it was eligible for grade 1 or grade 2 listing, and to understand the structural integrity of the foundations, and to understand why it was in such a state of disrepair. And then and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so I thought that I'd try and get it finished in a day. So I went. But I was only able to do the first story, and then it was getting dark, and then I thought I heard something, and then I turned around, and then in one of the windows there was a face, and it was a woman, and she looked awful, and I.
Okay, all right.
Takes a hearty drink.
Take a breath. It's fine. We're here. We're professionals. We can deal with this. You've got nothing to worry about. Just take a big breath. And what we need to know is the detail. So you say you saw a face. Can you describe it? You say it looked awful. What are we talking about here?
Okay. Can I get either charisma persuasion or wisdom intuition as you attempt to calm
yeah, charisma persuasion sounds like a thing I can roll a 2 on. That's a total of 6.
Okie dokie.
Rolls
Out of it!
are great.
No, he goes, well, I and he like rummages in the pocket. I had the keys, and then he like clangs them onto the table, and I went through the front door, and then there's mold damage to most of the walls, but it's only to the drywall, and there's probably a crack in the plumbing, but
Does it look sideways at whoever sat next to me?
I will. I don't know whether he'll try and stop me, but I will reach out to try and take the keys.
Yeah, I was about to say that we should grab those keys.
You're a surveyor. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary for something of a building in this state? Like something like the drywall, fair enough, and the pipes, fair enough. But is there anything that caught your attention?
Given the amount of water in the property, the mold should be more advanced, but that still doesn't make any sense because the property is not on any or close to any body of water for the amount of damp the property has.
Okay.
So for the amount of water, although it shouldn't have that amount of water, the damp should be more advanced, but it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So unless it was a recent spring, maybe in the plumbing, maybe that's what caused it.
Well, sometimes apparitions can have effects on their, corporeal surroundings. So, don't panic too much about that. When you said that she looked awful, what did you mean by awful? Could you describe in detail, like think back to that really traumatic moment and like really concentrate on it and just try and describe to us in detail what that was like?
Can you make me a wisdom intuition or charisma intimidation?
Yeah, that sounds like an intimidation.
I'm
This
already
is gone on
rummaging.
table.
Already rummaging for a sedative ready.
I will do charisma.
Marcus, what did we get on the medicine check?
So I got 10.
Okay.
Great.
He is exhibiting signs of chronic pain or low-level pain.
Okay.
Normally, you would just discount it as, well, he's drinking and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He's something's not quite right. But you've recently become more aware of such minor oddities, because sometimes when people are exposed to things, or when people have psychic potential, you can't quite remember how the boffin described it, but you remember that at the end of the day, which is why they always have headaches afterwards.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Do I know of any way to further probe that feeling, or is it just the kind of, I can't remember, like I'd have to find a superior.
you could ask him about it and ask if he's noticed any differences. Certainly.
Okay. So they usually have like headaches and chronic pain. You said. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll let it go for a bit.
All right, Mona. What did we get on the?
I got a 13.
Okie dokie. His hand doesn't really leave the keys when you try and take them. He does say, like, you're not going to go there now, are you? You really shouldn't.
I would like to use my. I'm probably going to butcher how to say this, but my psychometry.
Your psychometry, certainly. There is a. I'll just quickly resolve this, and then we will go over to that test. With your Mona, this is not the first time that you've had to calm someone down, and of course, establishing dominance when you enter a room is the third most important thing to do. So, having made it clear that there are certain things that you need out of them, and making him focus on the details, he recalls that she looked like she'd been in the river for a week, and her jaw was unhinged, and she was wearing. He couldn't quite make it out, but she was only in the window. She wasn't in the room. But then when he kind of stumbles with the words. Then when I left rather quickly, I heard the door slam.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay, so Francesca, you're going to attempt to manifest your psychic abilities. Is that correct?
Because I'm still trying to take the keys from him.
Yep.
Like I'd reached over to try to take them, and then he's put his hands on them, and he's not letting go. So you're going to be like, so I use my kind of, how do you say it again? Because I'm going to butcher it again.
Psychometry. Yep.
Psychometry. I'll use my psychometry. You're going to reach out and say, you need to hand us the keys, else we can't get in there.
Okay, well, psychometry is basically you opening your mind to what's available. So whether that's a question of if he's been influenced, if there's something malevolent hanging on to him, then you'd be able to tap into that, or his feelings generally. You could attempt
I like the first idea. Just if he's been around the ghost, it might be a good idea to find out if it's had any influence.
Or
on him.
alternatively, you can try and implant a feeling or a general compulsion. So you manifest a psychic power. That's going to be a charisma saving throw, because it is your force of will to make your powers do what you want rather than what they want.
And what will the DC be for that one?
The DC is 8, equal to half your level, always round down, so 10 again.
10. Okay, and my charisma is a +1. I'm not very charismatic, guys. Wish me luck.
You just got to get a better roll than me. And
that is a natural 20.
Yes.
And look, my dice have a little tiny. I don't know if you can see that, but it has a little tiny axolotl on it.
Oh.
Definitely your D10 roll as well, Connie.
Oh yeah, thank you. I will forget that every time. Oh, but I do get a point of doom.
Right. There I was.
The dice giveth and the dice
The dice
taketh
take
away.
away.
That's what I was going to say. That is, you rolled a natural 20 outside of combat. If you don't generate doom or ingenuity, you generate a point of ingenuity. Generates a point of doom, so I don't have to explain that. It's brilliant.
Okay.
So it's all coming together. So Francesca, you reach out with your mind, and although these powers are still fairly new to you, you do know enough that it's usually the strongest presence is what you pick up on first. So hopefully you'll get anything that's lingering on Matthew before you get the internal monologues of all of the pub goers.
Yeah.
So as you reach out, you have a odd, because psychometry doesn't give you words, it gives you images, smell, sounds. Sometimes they're metaphorical, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
You're fairly sure that one of the boffins is working on a translation book, but he says he's been doing that for a very long time. and you see a house in the middle of a field, and it's raining on it, but it's only raining on the house, and the rain is going the wrong way.
Mm.
In the first story window, one of them, there is not a window, there is a tombstone. In the second story back window,
Sorry, which
Yep.
window with the tombstone? So I'm trying to write this down, and I don't write very fast.
the first story front window, there is a tombstone instead of a window, and the same
Yep.
again on the second story at the back window.
Okay.
And as you look around the field, the grass, at first you think it's blowing in the wind, but it's moving, it's writhing, it's scuttling.
That's not disturbing at all.
And then you have a piercing pressure headache that isn't the worst you've had, it's just mildly frustrating.
Yeah. Does he relinquish the keys to me is the question.
Yes, he does.
Awesome. Don't have to try and persuade him then. I'll take the keys and pop them in one of my pockets.
While this is taking place, Alex, does anybody how many people are in the pub? Sorry.
A good dozen or so.
Yeah. Anybody interested in the conversation at the table, or?
A few people seem to be. There are some comments about Matthew and about how he's gone off the rails. If you would like to make me a wisdom investigation check,
yeah,
because I get the feeling this isn't the first time that Alexandra has perched in the corner and picked up on various bits.
I did have something about. Investigation checks. I'm just going to check quickly. Sorry.
Okie dokie. Marcus, with your we've done your medicine check from earlier. We've done Mona's.
Mhm.
I'm just double checking that I'm all up to date. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. He does relinquish the keys, Francesca. He does say, as I say, I was in the master's bedroom and I left in such a hurry that I left all my tools there. If you could recover those, that would be very kind of you. And I tell you what, if you're gonna go now, I'll give you my phone number, and if you ring me every hour or so, and then if I don't hear from you, I'll get help. I'll get help.
It's okay. We have systems.
Yeah.
We have systems. I'll take your number, but I'm not ringing you every hour. And if we find your tools, then we will return them. But I'm not checking in with you. I have superiors who check in with me, and don't worry. I appreciate your concern, but we are a professional team and we have it in hand. So you don't worry about it. You go home. I think you need a strong beer or maybe coffee.
Get another beer down, yeah.
Yeah, get a strong cup of coffee, take some painkillers, and try and concentrate on other things. But we're not going to be ringing you. I'll let you know if I get your tools back. But we can't say what we're going to come across, so don't panic about that.
We don't want to risk anyone else going into the house if it is anything suspicious.
So
Cool.
we'll go and investigate it. Okay, you don't need to worry.
Alexandra, did we get anything on the investigation check?
Yeah, I was just looking at my features, but it's related to tracking basically. So it's just a normal roll.
In Hellboy the RPG, we've moved tracking from survival, where it is normally in 5e, to investigation.
Yeah.
So survival is much more about putting up a tent and surviving.
So I totaled 15 on the D20. And
Okay.
Any doom or ingenuity.
Okie dokie. So with a 15, you do overhear a couple of people recounting the tales of when Matthew stumbled in, shouting about the woman in the window. And there's some... It's one of those things of when you're in a town where not a lot happens, there's some back and forth about the legends around Uxley Hall. Well, they were never right up there, were they? No. after that, what was his name? Penny Farthing? Penny.
Oh.
Anyway, when the Penny Lad take over, they all, you know what they say, you know, Vicar never saw him again, did they? No, they're all buried up there, you know. Oh, that's a bit. It's all right for some, isn't it? Isn't your third wife buried out back? Now, hang on, they didn't find anything.
Okay.
Okay, so
We have the
came in
keys.
raving.
We have information.
I will kind of reach over and kind of give my brain Matthew's shoulder kind of a reassuring sort of like squeeze.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just looked at him and say, "It'll be okay. We'll get this sorted. But maybe you should go home and get some rest."
Oh, and there are rats. I mean,
Rats.
I didn't see any rats, but I heard them. Because it's health. It's a
I mean,
health
that's a different
hazard,
different number.
which
to
is
call.
why
we,
I had to.
we deal with ghosts and things.
Which is why I had to. Which is why I had to wear the boots, because it was PPE, because it was a health hazard, and just scuttling in the walls. Just
They were in the walls.
Yeah.
Rats in the walls.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
must have been.
always in the walls. It's
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that information. Would have been really helpful had you mentioned that earlier. But
there's always
Well,
rats. Why is there always rats?
oh,
It could be worse, you know.
The smell, though, the smell. Oh.
I'm going to walk over to the town gossips, Alex.
Yep, sure. You wander over.
It is bad luck to speak ill of the dead, yet. I'll say with
Blink, blink.
and arms folded.
Yeah. Oh well, I suppose. Well, you sound like our local vicar. You do, right? Yeah. No. Well, you know.
I always find that reverends speak wise words.
Obviously,
Oh,
never
right.
like that.
mm.
You clearly haven't met our reverend then.
I will talk later.
Oh. Oh no. Well, you know. Where are you from anyway? And they start engaging you in the normal small conversation.
I think we've got everything we need here. I'm going to try and sort of catch the eye of everyone in the group and be like, I think we're done here. And I think it would benefit us to go and investigate the house before it gets dark. Do you not think?
Yeah, no, I think that'd be our deal, because it seemed to be all fine, and as we know, after dark it got a bit spooky. So
Well,
it'd be good to know.
was it
what
all
it's like.
fine, or was it just not obviously?
I think we should have this conversation away from here.
Yes, let's wait till we're in the car.
Alexandra, one of the tidbits of information whilst they're back and forthing over your comments.
Yeah.
The mentions about, well, the vicar never saw them again, build to the general innuendo that you've become trained to recognize as when people that aren't in the know describe what most people think is devil worship. Whether or not it's real devil worship, the local town won't know, but there's definite questions about the hall, because apparently the Uxleys were a very pious family until Arthur took over.
So kind of rumours of dark rituals and things.
Yeah, Arthur having bizarre parties, the fact that he's the only Uxley that's buried up there rather than in the local church.
Okay.
And the rumours around his wife dying untimely.
I'll file this away and obviously conscious of what Mona's just said.
Mhm.
I'll take it and wait until we get back into the SUV.
Yep. So you all clamber back into the SUV.
And I'll so the gossips had a lot to say, particularly about poor Matthew. But town gossip or village gossip seems to lead to the fact that there were dark happenings or perhaps some hidden depths to Arthur, did you say, Alex?
Yes.
Arthur Uxley, yeah.
Yeah. So whether it's gossip and people not understanding who this chap was, or whether he was into
Mm.
strange things.
I mean, already there's a picture starting to build up, right? Because we've got potential, drowning. We've got illegitimate kids potentially. We've got something in the walls, hopefully rats. And I mean, I'm pretty certain that guy saw something supernatural.
Mm.
I think.
Unhinged jaws usually aren't on the living.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like a wild goose chase for once.
Mm. Yeah. But it makes a change.
Once we are kind of in the car, I will bring up what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'll explain that, I saw the house in a field, that it was raining just over the house, but all the rain was going up. And that there seems to be, instead of a window, a tombstone on the front first story window and the second story back window. And that for some reason, much to my disgust, the grass was writhing and scuttling. And that unhinges me a little bit. I'm just a bit like, bugs.
I feel it is important to ask Francesca whether it was day or night.
Alex, was it day or night?
It was most definitely not day.
Okay. Not day, so...
So do we have any theories? I mean, I'm particularly interested in the distending jaw at this stage, to be honest, where he said that the woman at the window looked like she'd been drowned for a week and had a distending jaw.
Yeah, none of that's good, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what could it be then? Let's
And he
workshop ideas.
mentioned the water.
Yeah,
for
and
no reason,
specifically.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
It does all seem to lead back to that. Suicide might not have been a suicide.
Or it could have been a suicide to prevent what they thought was coming.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. So she drowned, yeah? But the guy
no,
said
he said that she looked like she had been in water for a week. That doesn't necessarily mean she drowned.
Right, yeah. Because there's no water on the property, right? The guy said
Yeah.
that. There's damp but no water. So that's... I mean,
But
let's
he
get up
didn't-
there.
he
Like you
didn't-
say, before it
He
gets
didn't
dark.
get to check part of the house. He got interrupted.
Yeah, he was heading up, right? From what I heard.
Well, he said he only managed the first floor and then it started getting dark. He'd already started to leave the property because it was when he was outside of the property that he saw the face in the window.
Yeah.
So he wasn't intending to stay.
Yeah.
He was going to have to come back, but now he's not going to come back.
Yeah.
Based on the vision I had, I think we need to check the rooms that had tombstones instead of windows. The marker of death.
Yeah. Yeah,
And later, you're going to need to sit me down and explain to me how that whole thing works, because it's still blowing my mind that you can do that.
If I knew how it worked, I would explain, but even I'm unsure of where it's coming from.
Well, I'm glad
somewhere
we
good,
got
right?
you on this.
So,
All the same.
so let's get up there and have a look at these rats in the walls and this damp and investigate further from there.
Okay.
Yep.
So you fire up the SUV. It starts rolling down the sweeping cobblestone roads of the town, and you exit the town. And as you head out into the surrounding fields, once the hall would have stood to watch over large fields, the estate, and perhaps even a small forest, but that was a long time ago, nearly 100 years ago. So you can begin to see where developments and suburbia has begun to bleed out from the town into what would have once been the farmland or the personal grounds. The forest that was once perhaps belonged to the property is now a local park with all of the vestments of signs about dog fouling and when the children's play area is open, and all of the other wonders that civilization brings.
Well, we'll just...
The hill is on top of a slight hill. In the SUV, it is noticeable, even with your aftermarket suspension, but it's no real issue. And Uxley Hall has a gravel driveway and stands at the ground floor and then 2 additional stories. A haphazard marble columned balcony protrudes out of the first floor, and out of one of the top story windows there appears to be some kind of leak. that has this constant stream of water falling down over one of the upper story windows, which with the maybe it's just the light, maybe it's because you've heard the stories, but with the arrangement of the balcony and the windows, the front of the hall looks like a face that is crying.
Is where that water coming from? In my vision, is that where the tombstone was?
It is not.
Okay. Keep dropping my pen. Put it down. Just put it down, Quinn. Stop fiddling.
So this place is delightful.
Yeah. Not exactly in the market right now, but I don't think this is at the top of my list.
I mean, I doubt you could afford this on what you get paid, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
What sort of time of day are we at now? Out of
It's
interest.
about 4 o'clock, half 4.
Cool.
Okay.
How long until sundown?
Couple of
That's the more
hours.
relevant question, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. Right then, everyone's got light, yeah?
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna,
got a torch.
I'm
Yep.
gonna take out my sidearm and my torch.
Yeah.
So you climb out of the SUV, you open the gun safe, hand it out, check that the torches, that the batteries are all working. They're replaced every time that you go out on a case, but never hurts to not double check.
As soon as Francesca takes the gun out, I'm going to kind of put a hand up and say, "Hey, Fran, I mean, might be nothing, you know."
Oh, I'm gonna follow. I'm, gun out and it's torch out and just being is better safe than sorry.
I'd rather have the weapon drawn and not need to shoot it than have it holstered and need to shoot it.
Well,
Unfortunately, Revenant, yeah, I'm with them.
I will
The amount
roll
of
my
time-
eyes and draw my sidearm as well.
Like I literally can look, so I see Francesca like gun and the torch, like
Yeah.
Classic CSI.
yeah.
I'll appreciate
Jeremiah-
a prayer, but it doesn't come in 9mm, so.
Jeremiah clearly having the words from the personnel department meeting about use of deadly force and the rate of injury sustained by, oddly enough, standard issued 9mm holes, ringing in his ears.
Like I'm wearing a ballistics vest, so it'll be fine.
I'm going to look at you all and take you all in with your sidearms out, and I'm going to say, like, I'm supposed to be here to keep you safe, but now I don't feel safe.
Well, you joined the wrong business to worry about feeling safe.
What is it, 180-degree rule?
I've seen
Either
some-
way, I'm staying at the back.
If I patch up a hole that's from one of you, I'm not going to be happy.
Look, we've worked as a team before. I've very rarely shot any teammates, so it's don't worry about it. It's fine.
Are you less jumpy than your first mission?
Weirdly, actually, as someone who is an archaeologist, I do have an ability called double tap, which I can either shoot twice or give myself advantage on one shot. So I feel like she's weirdly proficient with a gun for someone who was raised in the UK and went to Edinburgh University to do archaeology.
But
I don't know what her past is, and now I'm
had to learn
curious.
to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm suddenly much more curious about her past.
Yeah.
You know the amount of times.
You've brought up a good point in that. So the quick start starts at level 5 for everybody, and the kind of premise of Hellboy assumes that those early levels are spent being steeped into BPRD lore and trained as an agent and that kind of thing. So that's where those will have been built in.
Okay.
Yeah. So Francesca, although she was an archaeologist, which is what's covered in her life before the BPRD, since then she's become a field agent, and as part of being a field agent, becoming more proficient in staying alive and making sure that the thing that you're fighting doesn't stay alive, being the priorities.
Yeah, but I'm just sort of like having looked at some of the other kind of things, I'm just sort of like surprised that she's like, yeah, no, I can shoot things, it's fine.
That's why they give us 3 extra magazines, because nothing stays down after 1 bullet.
Yeah, I did the very, very quick math so that I could keep tally of my my shots, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of bullets. Now I'm concerned.
Well, that's
actually,
what I
on-
said.
actually,
It's
on that
clearly
note,
a budget thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, very quickly, so is that 3 extra magazines on top of the clip I've already got in the gun?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'll,
So we don't, for the purpose of the quick start as well, we don't track ammo bullet by bullet. But
No.
Alex has created a kind of beautiful equipment system for the kind of the larger rules in the core book, which are really looking forward to kind of revealing to people. And some of the rules in there will provide options for tracking ammo and having a bit of fun with ingenuity and doom and that sort of things as well.
So,
Cool.
boss, you want to lead the way?
Yeah. I'm going to walk right up to the door and just open it up because the sun hasn't quite set yet. So,
Sure
just
thing.
walk straight in.
Okay,
I'm
open.
being cautious, of course, checking all the corners. I'm taking myself very seriously.
I'll scan all the
Yep.
windows as people are approaching the building, Alex.
Certainly. Something quite odd, Alexandra, because all of the drapes seem to be closed in all of the windows. You check the first story, the second story from what you can see. You shine your torch up, and they're all closed. And you take a step around the side of the hall, see a couple more windows, and the drapes there as well are closed, which is quite odd if a surveyor's been going through checking various bits and bobs.
Yeah.
first question: is the door actually unlocked?
The door is indeed unlocked.
I would like to take the time very briefly to just figure out which of the keys is the front door key.
Okay, there's only 2 keys on the keychain,
Okay.
and they are marked front key, front door, which is a large skeleton key-like thing that looks like it should be the set of a Nicolas Cage movie, and a more modern being a relative term, kind of Yale lock for the back door.
Okay.
We're going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Incidentally, Mark, would you have shared that, the drapes are drawn?
Yeah, I just said that, and I'll mention as well that perhaps we have a squatter, and at that point I'll also get my own sidearm out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's just not go shooting any kids, I mean, this is the sort of place I could just see a bunch of teenagers, like creepy old place, satanic rituals.
Yeah, just the sort of normal stuff that normal kids get up to.
Hey, I mean, maybe not where you're from, but kids get bored.
Well, I don't know if I really want to know where you're from then, because that's pretty weird.
Maybe we shouldn't fire at will immediately. We're already taking horrendous budget cuts. We used to have 5 spare magazines.
You see those weird people that play D&D, Mona? Rumor has it that's satanic.
Well,
Wouldn't catch
Indeed.
me dead playing that kind of stuff. No way.
That's what the news says.
Yeah.
So,
Right, go on,
Mona,
here we go.
you open the door, you sweep your flashlight across it to scan for movement. You don't see any. There's doors immediately to your left and right that are ajar. The hallway itself it's fairly spacious, good 10, 15 foot across, and goes down and then you can see at the end of the corridor is a doorway, but the corridor clearly branches out into like a T arrangement. Before then, the first thing that hits you when you open the door, however, is the smell. At first, it's that wet rot of mold, but as you sniff it in as little as you can, there's a distinct chemical aftertang,
Interesting.
almost vinegary. And as you take steps in, you see what Matthew was referring to. There are various parts of the flooring that have just turned into puddles, where there's been attempts to pile newspaper on top of them to perhaps dry it out, but it's all been done in vain. The house itself appears to be there must have been some kind of renovation in the 1950s, given the state of the dried out, frayed wallpaper that you're fairly sure at some stage must have been fashionable.
Is there any kind of Sorry.
That's all right, Karen.
Just thinking with my archaeology background, is there any kind of check I can make to try and determine what that vinegary smell might be?
That would be a intelligence science test.
I'm
Smells
weirdly
worse than the
not
pub.
proficient in those, but let's try not to generate another doom, shall we?
Well, that's happening. I'm just going through my satchel and taking out just like a little face mask that popping one on. Like just if anyone.
Yep.
I feel for the sake of fairness, I might need to change my dice. So Mark can attest to that. My dice sets have a tendency to roll quite high. I'm not bullshitting you. That was a 19 with a +2, so it's a 21.
Have you rolled your additional D10 yet?
Yes, I did, and that was a 4. So not another point of doom.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Well, Matthew, as you take out the PPE equipment, because old house,
Yeah.
50s revival, maybe there's going to be something in the walls that's going to turn out to be a class 1 carcinogen.
Asbestos.
Asbestos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the word best right in it. How bad could it be? As you look around, and there are kind of gaps where the black mold is. You can see the next level's kind of floorboards and some of the exposed wiring. Francesca, with a 21, that kind of chemically kind of tang vinegar-like smell.
Yeah.
Looking around, well, the first thing that kind of like clocks into your mind is it's an old kind of homemade fix for mold, which is that you douse it in vinegar, and the theory is that it then stops it growing, and then you can deal with it. In kind of the old wives' tales of, you know, boil an egg and then you'll feel better kind of approach.
Okay.
While I'm outside scanning the windows, Alex, can I also keep an eye out for a kind of like water main stopcock or something like that? Or, you know, some sort of drain cover?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Are you doing a complete loop around the outside of the hall, or are you?
Are you okay with that, boss?
Yeah. Well, I think we should go in pairs. I don't think anyone should go on their own, and we also need to stay at least one room to get like away from one another. Don't be wandering off. So, who volunteers to go?
I'll keep an eye.
Yeah, I'll stay in the house and just inspect this mold a bit more.
Okay.
I'll go with her.
We'll stay on comms, obviously. But yeah, I just wanted to shut that.
That's true. I'll just do a quick radio check. Yeah.
1 2 1 2.
1 2.
Yeah.
Check the radios are working. And I'm going to say you need to make sure that it's not a slow walk round. I expect you back in 20 minutes at the latest. And then I'm going to suggest that we just look in the left-hand room. Might as well start somewhere.
Which side of the house was the tombstone?
That was on the left-hand side.
Okay, yeah. So I would be like, be careful. That's the one that had the tombstone window in my vision.
Was that on the first floor rather than the ground floor?
Wait, are we doing American or UK first floor here?
Good point.
Ground floor, first floor. It was on the first floor.
Okay, so we've got ground floor, first floor, second floor. Okay, yep, that's fine. All right. We're just like, first floor.
Still, with that in mind, tell you what, if that's the case, then I think I'll stay here with the house group and let you two go around the outside.
Yeah. If necessary, let me walk the perimeter as well and check for anything that's
cool
hanging around outside.
Okay, I'll be going with Alexandra then.
Okay.
I'm just going to inspect the mold a little bit closer, just see if I've seen anything like it, whether this has any symptoms of anything we've come across before.
Sure thing. Can you roll me a intelligence science check?
Intelligence science, of course I can. Actually, let's clear that. Okay.
Mona and the crew going into the left-hand room. You throw it open with force and sweep left, sweep right. There's sofas that are at least 40 years old, and they're all on the. You're fairly sure that they're held together with a hope and a prayer by the look of it. A gust of wind would probably lead to them falling apart. You can see various scratchings where you assume Matthew was doing measurements where tool marks of basic of various spirit levels and other things have dislodged some of the dust, the dirt, and other things.
Mhm.
And it is only as you kind of sweep the room and you're listening out for various things, you realize that there is a grandfather clock in the room that you can't hear it ticking, but then you look back and the hands are moving, but they're moving backwards.
No. Well, that's delightful. Is it actually light outside at the moment, currently?
It's still light outside. You've got about...
I'm going to stubbornly open all of the curtains as we walk around the entire house, just so you know.
Okay.
That's a note that I'm going to do in every room.
So you fling open the hefty drapes and years of dust and muck fly off them. Small ecologies of insects fly.
I hope you're wearing
free
that
for the
mask
first
I
time.
gave you.
Delightful.
I will look around, then look over my shoulder and say, "Hey, Marcus, I think I take it back. You probably can afford this place."
Marcus,
I
what do
think-
we get on the intelligence science check?
So I got an unnatural 20.
Okay.
But then a 1 on my D20.
Oh my God! Change your dice.
It's an online. I'll find a different one while we.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Are you sure you
Okay.
didn't download like a roll of one simulator rather than it being an actual dice?
These are joke dice.
Yeah, feels like it. Clowndice.com. Oh. Alright.
So I think maybe I
uh,
need to swap out my skull dice or something. It might be cursing us.
This is probably a good time to
So-
touch on. So each adventure, or each session is called like a case file.
Mhm.
Again, we're kind of drawing on the board game things that you guys introduced.
Mm-hmm.
So each case file has its own specific doom spends as well. So as the doom builds up, the GM can build in these kind of creepy elements and different
Cool.
things that
Yeah.
jump up. Also kind of inspired by.
Yeah. And then that's counteracted by the players have a thing called investigation sheet, which is similar to your information known from the wonderful Hellboy board game that if you haven't played, you should go and
I've heard
play.
of this.
Apparently, it was mildly popular. Where
Exceedingly.
so the GM has because I can choose to spend Doom immediately to make complications to the test happen, or I can store it as part of the Great Conspiracy Sheet, my Doom spends for the case files. But that's a ticking clock. Once it's on there, it keeps going up and up and up. The player version, it's specific. No, we're spending 3 points to do this, to undo this calamity. So one builds and builds and builds, and one kind of saving up and wondering whether or not you should spend it now for the immediate effect or not, which we'll get into.
Ah, interesting.
So it's really good that I'm getting so much Doom.
We're getting it out of the way. Getting it out of the way now.
Yeah. Well, we've got 3 spare magazines. Right? Get it out the way.
As Marcus recounts it, goes, "Why has this got blank written on the side?"
Red tape on it. Oh. I'm going to kill
If
Jeremy when
found,
I get
please
back to base.
My suppressor have no exit hole.
This is a wooden gun.
So outside of the hall, Francesca and Alexandra, I believe, are doing the perimeter. Is
Yep.
that correct? Okay, so a few things to note. First one is that there is a section on the first story where part of the roof seems to have collapsed and is open to the elements.
Okay, already on that.
At the back, at the back of the house, which you can tell because there's the back door with it's the only door that you've seen so far that has a Yale lock on it. There are several.
Sorry,
Yep.
I was just going to ask while we're at the back. I kind of just want to look up at the window that had the tombstone on it on the second floor.
The
Do
drapes
I
are
see-
closed as they all are.
How dare they?
And the other things of note are that there were outbuildings that have just completely, utterly, they were wooden huts. Perhaps they were for livestock, perhaps they were for storage, but they've fallen apart. They've clearly been reclaimed by nature. They are no more. Alexandra, you don't find a modern kind of external water valve cutoff, which would track with the age of the building. So it's probably got an internal system with an internal lock off.
Okay.
Marcus, whilst you were investigating the mold from the patterns of how it's spreading, a lot of it seems to be coming from the top down. Perhaps there's a leak up and it's spreading that way.
Yep.
However, with a 21, the amount of molds, because it's one of those things of the way that mold normally spreads, it shouldn't be as uniform as this. It's as if someone's or something has almost scraped off the second layer, so there's only the first layer left.
Okay.
Mm.
On the mold in the various parts, and it is fairly uniform, which again is quite odd.
Okay. I'm just gonna like take a knife and just cut out a little square of it and just pop it in satchel just to if ever
Sure
need
thing.
it. And just
Meanwhile,
reporting on the radio and just sort of echo what was said. So just mold doesn't seem 100% like normal. Might be related to what we're doing, so just be cautious.
All the evidence seems to be suggesting that someone's been trying to clean all the mold off, which means that it feels like someone's trying to prevent whatever's happening here from happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, rising damp. I mean, that's no one wants that. Believe me.
It's not rising though; it's falling.
True. I'll give you
people in the sitting room with the silent grandfather clock that is clicking. You hear Marcus over the radio. Mona, the most frustrating bit about the grandfather clock is that it's counting backwards to midnight.
Mm.
I'm going to sort of lean in and look at it.
Nice.
Is it got like the glass cabinet at the front kind of thing? Is there a pendulum?
There is a pendulum.
Is it moving?
It is moving. It's making no noise.
Just going to sort of open it, just put my hand in and stop the pendulum.
Pendulum stops.
And the hands?
Hands stop.
Okay, I'm going to take my hand away.
Pendulum starts again.
Okay. Yep.
Mm.
Well, good thing we're here, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to get on the radio quickly and just say, I think we've got confirmation of paranormal activity here. We've got a creepy grandfather clock that doesn't want to stop.
Francesca, could you make me a charisma saving throw, please?
Oh, I love it. Okay.
And the gloves come off.
Hang on, I have something that lets me do something with saving throw. Sorry, give me a sec.
Panicking is a free action.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my flapping stat is really good.
Okay,
Marcus,
no,
you're still in the hallway. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Distinctly on your own, I understand. Right.
So that's a 6. But
Yep.
I'm going to use my do or die.
Yep. So as a remarkable human, and this not being your first time out with the BPRD, you've not lived this long by not knowing when this is important. So you're able to, a number of times, re-roll a failed save.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm gonna try that again. No, okay, that's an 8. I went up by 3.
It's progress.
It's better than it was.
It's more than 50% better.
And yet.
And this is why you shouldn't trust stats.
Question: am I rolling Doom on a saving throw or not?
It's a result determined by a D20, so yes. So anytime you're rolling a D20, just get into the habit of rolling a D10 as well.
Okay, so just grab them together at the same time. On the plus side, that was a 10. We have ingenuity.
Hey.
Okay, so you can do a number of things with ingenuity. You can store it and use it later. You can store a number of points equal to proficiency bonus, which at this level is 3. You can use it immediately to kind of fail with style, or if you really don't like the fact that that's in single digits, you can spend it to boost it by the result by a d6.
Mm.
So weird
it-
question with ingenuity. Is ingenuity a single person resource that we all gain our own ingenuity, or is
Yes,
it
you
a
all
kind of a group?
you all gain your own ingenuity. You can store
Okay.
a number of points equal to 3. You can, and then the investigation sheet is your group resource that people can pick from.
Okay.
I don't like that I'm in single digits with an 8, so I'm going to roll a d6 and hope for the best. That was a 2, so that's now a 10.
Hey.
You're out of
It's
single
double
digits.
digits.
I'm
Okay.
double digits! I don't know if that's going to help me. I don't know what the DC is. But I went,
11.
but I went from
Yeah.
a 6 to a 10.
So, Francesca, as you round the corner, as you complete your perimeter sweep and you go back to the front of the house,
Yeah.
you cast your eye up just haphazardly, and in the window of the first floor where you saw the tombstone, as you look up, you get a kind of a flash across your eyes, and your head feels like it's got nails being dragged over it, and you feel as though the warm air vanishes and it's cold and it's wet, and you can hear echoings like you're in a cave, and then you hear some wet squelch as something leaves the water and crunches under the gravel under your feet, and as you blink, you're back, and you're going to take 4 points of psychic damage from that.
Awesome. In that moment, my hand will probably have flown out to grab a hold of my
Alexandra.
brain. Alexandra, there. My brain thought it was like it begins with a K. That's so wrong.
Is that the hand with the sidearm or the hand with the flashlight that we established earlier?
One with the flashlight. With the flashlight, I'm kind of going with that. For some reason, I like left-handed characters, so I'm going with Francesca's left-handed, so it would be her right hand going
Okay.
out. Okay, so that was 4 points of psychic damage, so I'm at 40 health.
Well, I mean, good gun discipline means that you wouldn't have been having your hands on your trigger, because otherwise the shock of it would probably mean that you
Which goes
just
back to
pop off a
why
little
she's a
celebration
field.
shot.
Goes back to why field agents are field agents first, and then other things later.
Yeah.
Good target.
Alexandra, as Francesca reaches out with you, one piece of your equipment, your refined EMF reader, it doesn't go into the red, but it just there's a light crackle, like with a Geiger counter, and then it's gone.
You okay, Francesca?
Oh, there is definitely a presence here.
Let's get you inside and set down. I'll go straight onto the radio. Say we've Francesca seems to have picked up on something, and my EMF sensor flickered briefly. I don't know if anything happened inside.
I'm going to be sensible and holster my weapon at this point.
Yeah.
Let me just make a note.
Francesca is unarmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcus, as you hear this spree of activity over the radio and people confirming various things and other things, as you firmly put your back against the wall, counting 10,000 hours, 2 months, 8 weeks, 60 days, one of the wall hangings that was ajar, the picture in it has long been lost to time and the encroaching of the mold and various things. But as you turn around, the glass is frosted.
God, okay. And that's on the wall next to me.
And
right.
Yep.
Okay.
As you look at it, it slowly and loudly scrapes on the wall as it lines itself back up.
There is a presence here. Well, you haven't said that yet, have you? Have you
No,
told us that that's happened?
So firstly, sidearm getting drawn. Weapons are. We've had a couple of signs inside as well. I'll brief you when you're back inside. But I'm
Oh,
just going to do a quick 360 to see if anything else is going a bit spooky.
Can you give me a wisdom perception test, because the outcome is in doubt? Mona and Jeremiah in the sitting room, you've investigated the clock. As you kind of check around, the sun is still coming in through the windows. But as you look at the windows, there's the shadow on the floor where the sun is beaming through. But it's almost muted.
Yeah.
It's bright up until a point, and it's at that stage that you notice that one of the mirrors that was ajar and half broken, the frame had fallen off, and there's various exposed bits of the wall beneath the wallpaper. You begin to hear faint scratchings.
Oh, okay.
Marcus, what do we get?
What was the check again? Sorry, I've rolled.
It was a wisdom perception test,
Wisdom
which is a field
perception.
medic you're fairly good at.
Yeah, we'll take that. 18.
Okay, no doom or ingenuity.
Oh yeah, let me roll. Damn it, I thought you'd forget. An 8. We're using this site now.
Always above 5.com, I understand.
Yeah,
Secretly a d6.co.uk.
it's just Notepad. I'm just typing in numbers.
You hear it must be the landing above you.
Okay.
It's the sound of fairly considerable weight, but spread over a small area.
Okay. Have I heard anything like that before?
Not here, and you just hear it once.
Okay.
And as you kind of look up, there's the slight depression in the roof with the exposed. And you kind of crane your ears, and the radio's going. The earbud comes out just to double check.
Yeah.
But then you don't hear anything.
Okay. Back on the radio. Possible contact upstairs. Requesting backup.
Okay,
Well,
I'm
we
going
can
to
all
go
pull together, yeah.
immediately into the hallway to join.
Me too.
Yeah. And then
So
I'm
you-
going to say, sorry, carry on.
So you all link up in the hallway. Francesca looking a bit pale.
Yeah, I have my arm around Francesca and I'll kind of hustle inside at the contact. Notice.
Can everybody please make me a charisma saving throw? Apart from Francesca, who has advantage.
Oh, yay.
Well, the good news is it's not a 1.
Okay.
That's where it ends.
This can be the curse of the halflings. It's always 2s.
Yeah, too.
That might cause psychic damage?
Sorry?
Is it an effect that might cause me to become frightened or inflict psychic
It
damage?
is indeed, Alexandra. And as a tempered member of the Special Science Service, I believe you have certain training regarding this.
Indeed, I've been taught the cold approach, so I'm kind of steeled against these, and I'm rolling it with advantage on this as well.
I'm really glad I had advantage.
It's
I
only
have
got a
rolled
10.
badly. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Because I have the choice between a 3 and a 13.
It's the 10 from earlier that you boost with the ingenuity. It's coming back.
Yeah. So a charisma saving throw, that would be 14 for me.
Yep, 14.
I have a 9 in total plus Doom.
Plus Doom.
Oh, D10.
How could you?
3. So not Doom,
So
but
easy.
not Ingenuity.
Okay.
11 and no doom.
Okie dokie. Mona?
Oh, 2. No doom. Because
Okay.
I have some kind of respect for this group that I wouldn't roll a doom. That's,
I have no such qualms.
I don't know what you're on about.
Alexandra?
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
That was with advantage.
With advantage.
Wow.
Right. Okay, so Mona, you have as you exit into the hallway that you know is there because you've just come through it, for a split second, it's gone in a blink, but you feel very cold and very small, as if the space around you has expanded, and you have this unnerving feeling that it's not the first time you've felt it, of being watched by malevolent eyes. And then you blink and you're back in the hallway with your team, but that feeling of being watched doesn't go away.
Okay.
Do I notice that happening? Like any particular signs?
I think Mona is fairly steely
Right.
about most things, but there are definite physiological signs that you would recognize, especially with a psychic on the team. Perhaps not instantaneously, but
Okay.
I am going to say I think we're being watched, and I think we need to deal with whatever's happening here. With regards to the picture moving and the mold being cleaned, I can't help but feel that there might be a ghost here, but maybe the ghost is not related to the rest of it, and that maybe this ghost is trying to preserve the building. It's just a theory.
Yeah, the floorboards seem to have gained weight when they're upstairs, and I don't know. It seems like there is more than that ghost.
Sorry, say again. The floorboards gained weight.
They creaked, which I haven't seen
Let's
a
go
lot
and
of
check
with
it out.
spirits.
Out comes Mr. Gunn again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex.
yes.
So all this kind of stuff that we're kind of feeling and doing, and like this psychic damage that I've taken, would this be classified as the spirit manifesting its powers?
If you
This
can make
is for
me
very
a-
specifically for a reason.
If you can make what is the specific reason?
Because I have seance.
Seance is you choosing to open up to the ether and what is there. You can
Yeah.
make me a intelligence occult roll to see if
Okay.
that line
Oh.
if what
I'm good at those, but whether the dice says I'm good at those. Oh, and roll a d10.
So you're all currently in the hallway still. You've searched one room.
Oh, 21. That was a 15 on the roll. And no D.
From the dossier and everything else, that there's definite precedent for a spirit affecting changes in small ways. There's some you didn't really get the dossiers on some of the other creatures that do it because they were all heavily redacted and all manner of other things. But you do know that, however, seances are most effective if you find the center of where the spirit is manifesting, where they're bound still to the physical world.
Okay.
Okay, well,
It's
let's
like
just go.
talking on a telephone down a long tube versus talking on a telephone.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's
Understand.
go upstairs and sort and go and confront whatever's making noise, and we'll see what's going bump, shall we?
Yeah, I'm just gonna call out. If anyone's staying here, make yourself known. We are armed federal agents, and I just sort of look over and say, "Shot civilians not going to look good on the record. So how about we avoid that?" So and then go to move.
I'm gonna shrug.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shake myself off after my little mental assault and redraw my firearm and follow people upstairs. Maybe staying behind Alexandra.
I've got my gun out, and I think we should be making our way upstairs, following the sound of the noise. So I'm going to be demanding that you give us the details of exactly where it was.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, I guess, go up the stairs and try and locate where I sort of originate that sound from on the landing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the main staircase is it doubles back on itself. The handrail is a faraway memory. The carpet is rotted off. The stairs are just made up of like paper mache, where paper's been put down to try and soak up all of the damp. With every step and every click, you kind of brace yourself for the stair to give way under you, but thankfully it doesn't. There are shelves on the surrounding walls. Perhaps they once held tomes, pictures, but again, the damp and the mold has just completely and utterly destroyed whatever semblance of civilization it was meant to be, and the papers have been put down and and the ink on them just awash with the moisture.
So who's been putting down all these papers? I'm going to say out loud as we're wading through them.
Whoever's like trying to fix the damp, I guess. I don't know. Like, seems a bit of a temporary solution. I know we've had a lot of signs that it is supernatural, but just to try and eliminate anything, like I just want to quickly check one of the bathrooms just to see if there's not a weird leak. Like,
well, we saw that there was a pipe that burst from the front that was
Yeah.
prying down the front of the building. I mean, a burst
Yeah.
water main. It's going to do it, isn't it?
yeah, it's gone out the front. I can't explain the rest of the house.
Who was it that took over the place? Like, I remember there was a sale like 4 years ago. Who?
Well, there wasn't a sale. The Pennyworths took over
That
from
was
the Uxleys after World War One, I think, and then,
And then
the
4 years
last
ago,
one,
they-
the last
yeah.
one died 4 years ago, but it's not changed hands since.
So, you know what I'm going to do? Are there any of these like newspapers on the floor that still have an intact date at the top of the page?
Yes, they do.
What's the most recent date I can see?
Most recent date was 3 days ago.
Okay, so this is recent. This is.
Yeah.
I mean, whether this was Matthew or something else, this is. I mean, this is a lot of damp.
Surveyors won't be trying to, like, they'd just be trying to see what the problem is rather than fixing it on the spot.
But like, for it to degrade this much in 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I'm sounding surprised. There is very clearly something really not right here.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, let's keep going up the stairs then.
I'll get the EMF sensor out as well, Alex.
Okay, you get the EMF sensor out. You know that the EMF is notoriously unreliable until it is entirely reliable, but you are able to have it in one hand as you sweep as you climb up the staircase. As you so the staircase was where you entered. You went down to where the hallway went to a T, and it was on the right.
Mm-hmm.
You went up the rickety staircase and found yourself at a landing that mimics downstairs.
Okay.
As you exit the staircase on your left, you can see the impressive double doors to the balcony.
Okay.
But what is more interesting is that there is a door to your right that slowly starts to creak open, and Alexandra, the EMF sensor, just starts. It doesn't immediately jump up. It just starts building a little bit up, a little bit down.
Okay.
I imagine I'm certainly raising a gun in that direction. So gun, torch, and I'll call out a challenge, something like, whoever that is, you better show yourself.
I just
No
sort
answer.
of, I just look at you, Reverend, and just sort of give you a nod and start taking steps towards there.
Yeah.
Just gun
So
on it as
I'll
well.
stand back and cover and let you.
It feels like something's trying to show us something.
Well, you think it might be good?
Well, I don't know, but
In
it's
the
something
biggest
is trying
inverted commas as we go on. But
I really feel that there's something that is not right here that is watching us, but I don't know whether it's this. But we might as well try and find out what it is they're trying to show us.
Is that the same room in which you saw the tombstone, Francesca?
I'm really turned around right now. My sense of spatial awareness is awful. Is this so? Is that the right room?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So I think for once the sensor might be working, which makes a nice change.
Yep.
I mean, 1 out of 10 times
That's
isn't
great.
bad.
Right, like left. My brain's like left, right, left, right.
So I'm gonna move towards that. Is there any other like doors or rooms as we approach that I just need to be aware of?
From you can see to your right that there is a hallway where there are at least 2 other rooms, and then there's another door at the very end, and you can see that there appears to be another door that leads into this same room. You would assume, given the style of the door.
Okay.
The door that swung open when you were there and the door that you're able to see down the right are much more original features. They've not been updated. They've not been repainted. They're clearly kind of pride of place. To the other side, you see, mimicking what was downstairs, 2 more doors leading to 2 other rooms. Like I say, there was a balcony at the other end.
End of the hallway. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, just gonna approach it and sort of pie the door as I move in there.
Okay, is everyone tiptoeing along with Marcus, or
Yeah, I think I'm staying a few feet behind, slowly advancing with a gun trained on the door just in case.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm covering and looking around the up and down the hallway as well, making sure that we're not going to get flanked or anything like that.
Yep. So Mona's keeping an eye on the hallways, back to the door, because that's where all of her team are, and if there's an issue, then it's got to go through the team first. Jeremiah's last person in. Alexandra, what are you doing?
I'll say to the guys heading in, just be careful, Pajulushta.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we were just going to jump in there without looking, but thank you.
I feel like
do worse, Rev. You have been.
I feel like Francesca, knowing that this is the room with the tombstone, would probably be up the front with Marcus. Like, she'd be curious. She'd want to know.
Yep. So Marcus and Francesca, you enter the room, sweeping left, sweeping right, torches in one hand, sidearms in the other. And what you see before you is the remnants of what was once perhaps an original feature, a 4-poster bed where the posts have cracked and fallen in on themselves.
Okay.
And the bed's been stripped. There was no mattress or anything else. There is a wardrobe where one of the doors has cracked and crumbled in on itself. And there is also a vanity, a small kind of dresser with a mirror.
Okay.
And then as you look at and you kind of sweep left and you sweep right and you check around, and then hopping out of the remnants of the bed, a small frog hops.
When we say small, threatening?
17 feet small.
Okay. So, I'm not going to fire. I'm just going to say, with contact, hold your fire. Just want to see what it's doing. Do I recognize this as is it just looking like a frog, really?
That's the question. So this all kind of depends on whereabouts we are in the BPRD stuff. Presumably, frog monsters aren't a thing yet, or are they? Are they a thing that we're aware of, or?
You've heard stories, but then again, you've also heard stories about golden retriever monsters, because the only way that the enhanced ability team could keep getting the jet and the budget is by everything else. The frog seems a bit spooked by you and begins hopping out of the other doorway.
Okay, I'm just sort of staying cautious of where it's gone to, but not blasting. Okay, so we got frogs, we've got damp. It's adding up.
You know what, Doc? I'm going to actually revise my opinion one more time. You shouldn't take this, even if they pay you.
I don't know. It's a fixer-upper. You seen that 4-poster bed?
You see what's left of it.
Marcus, do you remember that mold that you were expertly examining downstairs?
I do remember expertly examining.
As you, as the Reverend jokes about, it's a fixer-upper, and you sweep your head up. There is no mold on the ceiling in here.
Okay.
And there is no mold on the skirting board. In fact, there is no mold in this room.
Oh, okay. So,
Mona, as you survey the hallways, you see a small creature hop out of one of the doorways. It's the other door that you observed earlier swings slightly in the momentum, carries it a bit further, but then you're able to, as you spin around with the flashlight, you see what it appears to be a very small frog hopping down the hallway.
I'm going to be quite urgent about it. Be like, there's a frog. We should be cautious. There are frogs hopping around.
Repeat, look out, there are frogs. Boss, come on, they're frogs.
Yeah, but and I'm gonna get annoyed at this, because I'm gonna be like, but we got told originally that the woman in the window had a distended mouth and looked like she'd been like in the river for a week. So do you not think it's a bit unusual how we're getting frogs, everything's covered in water, there's clearly something going on here. I've forgotten your character's name, Mark. I do apologize.
Alexandra.
That's it, Alexandra. Do you not think that maybe this is a time to try and think back to all of those archives and see if there's something that you can remember that is relevant to the situation that's happening now?
Francesca, your watch blips. It is sundown. The doors to the master bedroom slam shut. The EMF reader it stops bubbling and immediately spikes up into the red.
Boy.
I was actually going to say before this happened, I was going to step into the room, but now I'm glad I didn't get time to say that.
I was just going to stomp on the frog.
And everyone's flashlights begin to flicker.
Whoa.
I'm going to snap my head around to Mona and then just turn and charge the door to the bedroom.
Okay?
Yeah.
Several things happen at once. So, Marcus, in the bedroom,
Yep.
as you're surveying the mold and trying to go, okay, there's nothing in here, you then find yourself looking at the window, and in the window, floating, is a disembodied head with this mummified, putrid skin that's just wrapped taut over the bone structure. One of the eyes looks like it's disconnected. It's kind of rolling as the head moves. But that's not the most unsettling thing. The most unsettling thing is that the neck and the jaw are completely disjointed and rolling as the face contorts around. At which point, Alexandra, could you make me a strength athletics check? And Marcus, what would you like to do?
I just want to sort of make Reverend aware of this. I just be like, window, just hold a sec. And I just put my gun in the holster and sort of, like, I'm just looking. Like, there's...
Okay.
It must be the same one that Matthew said he saw.
So I shoulder barge the door with a 21, Alex.
So you shoulder barge the door. The door,
window.
as you get the run up, you
There is a
shoulder barge into the door. However, inside, as Marcus is approaching the window, as Reverend I assume is keeping him in his iron sight, in between the two of you, just about half a foot from you, Reverend, not even that, you hear the sounds and you feel the force of a body falling and then going taut as if hung by an unseen noose by one of the rafters.
I will wheel backwards quickly while swearing loudly.
At which point, Alexandra doesn't so much go through the door as there is now an Alexandra-shaped hole in the door. And and Reverend, as you wheel around to look at the force, there's nothing there. And Marcus, in the commotion, you kind of blink and the face is gone.
Oh God. Okay. So yeah, as came through the door, the gun went up, and then immediate just. What the?
Oh,
and then back on the window.
I have to be honest there, Alex. Well, I did generate a point of doom.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Will everyone just stop generating doom? Like, it's not difficult. Like 9 opportunities out of 10 to not generate doom. Like, it's not a difficult thing. Now, we just heard a huge screaming voice shouting away. So there's clearly something trying to warn us to stay away.
I'm so glad you're here to tell us that.
Well,
Mona,
I think...
in the hallway, whilst this is happening, you hear one of the doors at the end of the doorway open and close. Inside the room, can Marcus and Jeremiah make me charisma saving throws?
Yes.
I actually don't know where I am in all this at this point.
Francesca, I believe you were at the doorway, which now has an Alexandra-shaped hole in it. Mona, I assume, is in the process of realizing that she doesn't have a mic key, so her management style is being but there has been movement down the hallway.
Yeah. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be on the radio and be like, right, get out of that room. There, we've got movement in the corridor.
Oh,
I rolled a
everywhere.
fantastic 9 for my charisma saving throw.
Okay, and
I
Marcus.
rolled a 4. No doom.
Go team.
Okay.
Go team.
So before your eyes, as you hear Mona saying, "Okay, right, we need to regroup and reassess," and before your eyes, as Marcus is going, well, she was in the window, and then he's cut off as he's hoiked up, grabbing at his neck at an unseen rope, 4 foot off the ground.
That's bad.
I'm going to step into the room at that.
Okay. And with that, we will roll some initiative.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
you do roll the d10 with initiative, because it's a d20 roll.
Cool.
Ooh,
And you
hello.
can spend ingenuity if you generate it to boost your initiative by d6, similar with skill checks.
When, out of interest, when does ingenuity go onto the investigation sheet? Is that a thing that?
sorry, had a moth flew at my face. Sorry. Probably just
If you unveil something that is critical to the investigation, or if you succeed at a skill check by 5 or more and you have ingenuity, you could then go, can I put that on the investigation sheet?
Fantastic.
It's the idea
Cool.
that it's either something that you've uncovered in the case that breaks through, or it's something that
nice.
you've done so utterly well that the time that you've saved would let you do it later on.
Nice.
So with initiative, Alexandra, what do we get?
10.
10? Nice
Yeah.
round number. Jeremiah.
18.
Okay. Mona.
14.
Francesca.
11.
Marcus.
18, and I got a 10 on my D10.
Okay, so you have a point of ingenuity, which you can then store, and you're going to need it. So at the top of the round, we have either Marcus or Jeremiah. You can choose who goes first.
I feel that you're possibly the more urgent one here. You should maybe deal with this before I help out.
Oh, okay. So you shouldn't help me first. Okay.
Let's see how you get on by yourself.
I'll take it upon myself. You can pray for me later. Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Not that I have any idea what I'm gonna do.
Well, you can feel the rope around you as you
Okay.
pull at it. It does feel like it's reacting. It's just a question of as you're swinging and looking up,
Yeah.
you can't see a rope, and obviously your torch has fallen
Yeah.
to the ground, so that's kicking up light everywhere as it spins. So you can make a strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics to try and, or you're hanging. You can remain hanging by the neck and try and do something else, but I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, there are no bad decisions, only questionable ones.
The bad ones, except maybe that one.
If a DM ever says I don't recommend it,
Take the hint.
yeah, I'm gonna take an acrobatics check.
You know what? You can have advantage on that, I think. I'm going to use coordinated effort to make a help action up to 15 feet away and as a bonus action.
Okay, yeah, and because you had the same initiative order, that can happen. It happens
Yeah.
simultaneously. So, yep. So have advantage as Jeremiah, I assume, kind of grabs your legs and tries to push you up in the.
I'm just reading my teamwork thing. When taking or benefiting from a help action, you generate an extra point of ingenuity.
Ooh.
When you're taking, okay, so yeah. Well,
So it's the idea that field agents are used to working in teams. So
Okay.
when another agent helps them, or when you're in a group check, it's the idea that when things line up, they line up doubly so because there's more agents all walking towards the same goal.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we'll use that. So that's enough. And I'll take my roll. Come on, I've been nice to you, website.
I signed up and everything. What more do you want?
You've got my credit card information. So that is a. Oh, actually, I've got really good. Oh, okay, unnatural 20.
Okay, so you're able to wrestle the noose off you. You are going to take 6 points of psychic damage from the initial cut up, and you can feel it, the impression of this very thin rope around your neck, but you have able to wrestle it off. That did take your action, but you are now firmly on the ground, regaining, taking a hearty breath in.
I didn't get any doom on that. Thank you. I'm just going to quickly read my bonus sections, but I think I'm all good. Yeah, I'm all good.
Okay.
Done.
So then we are over to Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, as Marcus kind of slips with your help and falls to the ground and starts coughing, Alexander just bursts through the door and coalescing in the mirror of the vanity, that unhinged jaw again, snarling. You can see it in the mirror, and as the last afterglow of dusk peeks out over the trees in the distance far away and darkness begins raining in, she crawls out of the mirror.
I would like to
Nice.
shoot the mirror. Shoot the mirror many times.
You can certainly do that. Would you call this a feat of suppressing fire?
I would
perhaps?
absolutely. I was about to say cause the fear of suppressing fire, which I believe is 3 attacks instead of 1 with my
Yes.
sidearm.
So Jeremiah is a part of the internal affairs and security, which means that he is partly responsible for making sure that all of the BPRD's assets, including its agents, are safe. And as part of that, he has a thing called deployment tactics, which are moments where Jeremiah cranks it up to 11 and goes, nope, I'm resolving this, this is over. So whereas field agents can make 2 attacks each round, Jeremiah can make 3 attacks, but not every round, only every so often.
So so that mirror's eating some lead.
Yep. So you shoot off 3 shots, that's 3 d20s and 3 d10s.
Oh, how exciting. I need more dice.
Oh, what a shame, I need more dice rocks.
Need more
Treasures.
clicky-clacky number rocks.
23. Okay, let's do this.
While James does that, I just want to say that during all of this, the cupboard in my room, the door started like banging. I'm not even joking. Like banging in and out. And I was like, oh, holy crap. And it was my cat out of my line, pulling at the door like this, as if it was deliberately trying to freak me out. So I just want to put into context that while all of that was happening, I had a proper like paranormal moment there.
I'm just going to
house
imagine the
down.
cat also just there, just with the unblinking eyes straight at you.
And the distended jaw, you know.
Yeah.
So I got no ingenuity or doom,
Okay.
but this is just d20 plus my attack bonus, I'm guessing.
Yes, it is.
Yep, so that is an 18 and a pair of 15s.
Okay, they all hit. So a firearm, you don't add your modifier because it is a firearm, but however, the damage dice are quite considerable because it's a gun. So that's 2d10 per shot. So that's going to be 6d10.
This mirror's going down.
Just...
Let's do some maths. 10, 21, 23, 30 damage.
So on the one hand, it's 3 solid hits, center ring. If you're on the range, Alexandra would probably still have some pointers, but it's a solid pass. However, what's more unsettling is that you see the bullets, you don't see them pass through her. It doesn't interact with her at all, but the glass behind completely and utterly shatters as 3 in the center ring collapse. She, however, where that was between you and the mirror, there wasn't even a puff where her disjointed image of this ragged, overlong dress that's all matted and contorted and rotted, and the dress seems more real than she does. Although that could just be your human brain going, uncanny valley, disjointed jaw, far too close to real, not dealing with this. We are going to put this in a box and never speak of it again.
That box is very full.
But more importantly, the mirror's dead, right? Because
The mirror
I
is
hate mirrors.
the mirrors are very, very dead. And then it is then Mary's turn. And she's going to reach out with her hand at Jeremiah. Can Jeremiah make me a wisdom saving throw?
Prefer not to.
It's your
Actually, sorry,
turn.
no. Alexandra's in the room. Alexandra, could you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Can I call upon my cold approach again? No, it's wisdom, sorry, isn't it? That's cold
Yeah.
approach is...
I can do better than that. I can give you a. Oh no, I'm not going to. Carry on.
Actually, cold approach doesn't specify a stat, but
It doesn't, but it's not against being frightened, and it's not against dealing psychic damage. So sadly, it doesn't.
No.
Oh, screw it. I will then. I will. I'm going to use Watch Out, which is another thing I can do, which is
Yep.
as provided I can see the danger coming. So DM, feel free to tell me if that's the case. I can
yes, you
grant an
can.
agent within 15 feet of me advantage on a saving throw.
Yep, that expends your reaction. It's the idea that Jeremiah's used to going, no, don't step on that.
Well, thanks for that shout, Jeremiah, because that shout for warning earned me a 19.
Ooh.
21 in total.
Okay, so Alexandra, you feel it's as if your internal voice was getting quieter, as if you were, for a second, you thought you were viewing your body from the outside, but then you snapped back to it.
Huh.
And then we are over to Mona in the corridor.
Right.
There has been gunshots, shouting and thudding and all manner of noise.
Right. I'm going to double check all the exits around me, and I'm shining a light all around me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look behind me.
Mhm.
And I don't know how far away they are in terms of like distance. Would I be able to go in and like grab one and pull them out?
Yeah, you certainly could. Can you make me a wisdom perception check as you double check the doors because you heard movement and back the way that you came?
Perception check. Okay, and then let's see. In perception is there it is. It's a 14.
Okay.
And I got a 9 on my D10, so not quite enough to get
Oh.
any ingenuity.
You were doing some teamwork, but so you sweep left and right, and as you double check the staircase on your way there, as you kind of spin around,
Yeah.
can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Whoa! Yes. That is a mighty 10. Oh, and a point of doom.
Well done. Join the club.
Even the boss did it.
No,
It's only a matter of time.
I
You
think
get
we
off
should.
your high horse now.
I think we should be taking some leads from the big man himself, Big Red, and just burn this house to the ground. Yes. I think that's just the best way to go, really.
No, because it's on the market.
Where's Liz when you need
Yeah, but
her?
you can always just buy the land, I guess. But then are we
Well,
going into like ancient burial territory?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a
this is one
slippery
of the things
slope.
that comes up with the way that we've done Doom and Ingenuity is that whereas in some RPG groups it's and everyone wants to go very quickly, people learn to go, no, I think you should try. I think I don't want that responsibility. All of a sudden people don't want to be everywhere to do everything. People want, they want so Mona, as you check around, you hear the whoosh of the air being displaced, but you're not able to get out of the way as slashing down this overly long, boneless, it looks like by the way it moves, hooked clawed hand that's this in the torchlight looks like it's wet and it's got a gill on the side of it, scratches down squarely into your center mass. You're going to take 16 points of slashing damage.
Ooh. Holy mother of something.
And then as it
How does
kind of,
the damage reduction 2 work then in the
so
vests?
it was 16 and then you have damage reduction 2 from slashing damage from the BPRD vest, so you would take 2 away from that because it's 2 per attack. Because I'm not that heartless yet.
Okay.
And does an 11 hit your armor class?
I have AC 11.
So because you're an agent, because you are a main character, that misses. They have to beat your AC to hit you because you are you are a fully rendered character in Mike's drawings. You are not a background smudge. So it slashes out again, but it slashes harmlessly at the vest. but where it kind of drags you around, you're able to see it, and its arms are about 3 foot long, its legs
Oh.
about a foot. It's kind of bulbous and misshapen. Its
Oh.
eyes are asymmetrical. One of them's a bulbous kind of black ball, and the other one is a human blue eye that's
What? That ain't
wonky.
right.
Its jaw and face look like something out of a bad 80s horror movie. It's got human teeth, but the mouth is too big and it kind of gloops around. And then as it snarls, this long frog-like tongue just rolls out, and you see this black bulbous mucus boiling out of its expanding throat. What would you like to do?
I will shoot it in the face because that's what I do. So
Okay.
That'll be a double tap. So that's shoot it twice.
Certainly.
Oh, just a minute. And no problems of doom or ingenuity. And I've got a. Let's see. That'll be. Is that a dexterity shooting? Or is
Dexterity plus proficiency. It should be on your sheet next to your sidearm, your modifier.
Oh, yeah, the sidearm. Right, just a minute. Oh, God. Now that I'm in the moment of panic. It's not... so I've got an unnatural 20 and an 18.
They both hit.
Yep.
ACs in Hellboy are rather low because in the comics things very rarely miss. It's usually people going through windows, going through walls, so he wants to keep that.
Yeah, so 2d10, so that will be 7 for the first shot and then 9 for the second shot.
Okie dokie. So that's going to be
More
that
important,
much.
did you roll any ingenuity or doom?
Doom.
No, I did not.
Okay. So you shoot.
I was just going to say, I'll also be swearing loudly about some horrendous monster.
You can just hear that.
Okay. So Marcus, on this, one of the worst days in quite a while, thinking about it, in your ear you hear Mona and all manner of elegantly specific.
I'm just grabbing my throat, and then I can hear that like, oh God, come on, 2 months.
Yeah.
Let's just get through this, Marcus. Right? We medical school was hard. Come on, just fist to the ground, getting up.
Mona, you hit out solid 2 hits, center ring, center mass, straight through the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It does not recoil. It does not wince. You see parts of it. You can see the hole where the 9mm went through its chest cavity. You can see the black kind of goop that's falling out of it in the torchlight. Francesca, it's your turn. Unless you have anything as a bonus action, Mona, or a reaction or anything you want to do.
Actually, let's see. Right, okay. So, as a bonus action, I'll attempt a focus test. If successful, for each field agent within 15 feet, you generate an additional point of ingenuity whenever a D10 is rolled as part of an ability check, saving throw, or attack roll. This ability requires you to maintain focus and last a number of rounds equal to the charisma modifier +1.
Yeah, so as a team leader, Mona has an ability to basically take the teamwork that is usually when you're searching through something, but apply that to combat, where basically reminding people to check each other's back, and a lot of what Mona seems to be doing seems to be shouting at other people, but regardless. That's
what I do!
She is management.
So a focus test.
So a focus test is a Constitution saving throw that, as a field agent, I believe you are proficient with.
Yep. Oh.
The DC for focus checks is determined by your level. It's 8 plus half your level rounded down. You always round down.
So 8 plus half my level. So
10.
2.
That'd be
10. Yeah.
I rolled a 10.
You are a main character, so you've equaled the DC, so you've beaten it.
And I just rolled a 10 on my D10, so that means I get a point of ingenuity, right?
Yes, it does. You can use ingenuity in combat to go, no, I succeed on that focus check. I don't have to roll it.
Cool.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that means that now everyone else is getting an additional point of ingenuity whenever a D10 is rolled.
Amazing.
whenever they generate a point of ingenuity, they get another one.
Oh my god,
Okay.
okay. Come on. Good rolls.
Mound.
Come on.
There are some abilities that make it you generated ingenuity on additional numbers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
cool.
So it's that trade-off of when it works, or making it work more often. And then with that, we are over to Francesca, who has very politely been waiting.
It's okay. So, I've kind of stepped into the room and I see this like horrifying thingy. I'm
Yep.
going to reach my own hand out and I'm going to do psychic invasion.
Okay, so you're going to attempt to manifest your psychic powers. That's going to be a charisma saving throw to make sure that your powers do what you want rather than what they want to do.
So I believe it's an opposed charisma check.
You have to manifest the power first, so you
Okay.
have to.
Oh, and a D10.
For those who, whilst we're resolving that, there are things in the Hellboy the RPG where it's a question of, well, you need to roll it to happen. You don't lose the ability, you don't mark off the use unless it works. It's just a question of it doesn't happen immediately. So it's not a question of well, I can only do that 3 times and I failed twice and it's gone. It's so you will get your use out of it. It just will be at a
That's
more
good.
dramatic moment rather than perhaps when you want to.
That was exactly a 10, which I believe is my DC.
Yep.
Mhm.
Luckily, you are a main character, so you are able to
And no
muddle
doom.
through.
And
No doom.
And no ingenuity.
Yep, so then it is an opposed charisma thing. She got a whopping 9.
Okay, so that's all I need to beat is a 9. Oh, and thank God. So that was a 15.
Okay, so you deal 2d6 psychic damage, and it overcomes any resistance because it's coming from a power. It's coming from the either as your force of will renders out as you lash out because you're having a bit of a day.
9 points of psychic damage.
9 points. She is a ghost. She is open to the etheric thing, so she will double that to 18.
Oh, very nice. That's what I was hoping. I was like, she is a ghost. I doubt bullets are gonna do much, but maybe my psychic powers can. So that's my action, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Just check what I have.
Whilst we're checking that, Alexandra, what would you like to do?
I'm going to shout, Rev, I've seen you do something before. Get out your rosaries as I'm charging back out of the Alexandra-sized hole to back up my boss.
Sure thing. You're able to see that about 5 foot away from your boss is the creature that I described. Its long, hooked hands have teared gashes into her BPRD stab vest. It's kind of perched half on the wall, half on the floor.
My ears are ringing anyway. I'm probably in a bit of kind of psychic shock from whatever that ghost is trying to do to me. But I'm going to use a bonus action to try a rapid reload. So it's a focus check as a bonus action, and if I succeed when I hit a creature with an attack before the end of my next turn, I can spend hit dice to add to the damage.
This is going to hurt, yeah.
So I got a 16 for the focus check.
So that's a success because the DC is 10 because it's 8 plus half your level rounded down.
So nothing on. I didn't generate any ingenuity or doom.
See, it can happen.
Yeah. So I will try and shoot it.
Yep. So make the attack roll. As a BPRD consultant, Alexandria only makes 1 attack normally, but sidearms are semi-automatic, and we'll go into that if we need to. But so the first attack
is a 14.
Hits rather solidly. So it's 2d10 from the sidearm, and then you spend a hit die. This is going to hurt, so you get to add a hit dice to that. So you spend it and add it to the damage.
Okay. So that's a 7 from the dice roll and an extra 4, so 11 in total from that.
From the 3d10, yeah?
Yeah.
So, cool.
And that's it. I think that's my move and my action, isn't it?
You've got a bonus action because you took the attack action and your sidearm is a semi-automatic. You can shoot it again.
I will do so. Does rapid reload apply? Does it apply to every attack?
If you want to spend the hit dice, yeah.
Why not?
Because again, hit dice are a resource that players can have, so it's a question of that trade-off of I do more damage now, but I'm going to be in trouble if I get hit.
So I actually rolled a snake eyes, which is a 1 on a d20 and a 1 on a
So much time.
Go team.
We literally are rolling so many dooms and not much ingenuity.
It
Few
feels
months.
like we're due a win soon.
I'm going to draw my unmatched focus there, Alex. Actually,
Okay, sure thing. So as a remarkable human, you can re-roll a result of 1 a number of times. Because again, it's that thinking that the agents aren't just humans; they're people that have trained, they've learned to overcome things.
I feel it's pretty important at this moment.
Yeah.
That mighty 1 becomes a huge 2.
It's 100% better.
Oh dear. I think everyone here requires new dice. Everyone. I think that's
But luckily, because that wasn't a roll of a 1, that doesn't generate another point of doom, luckily. So there we go.
I'll take that.
So, and then with that, we are back to the top of the round with Jeremiah and Marcus.
You mind me taking the first one? Because I've got an interesting idea.
Oh, go ahead, Reverend.
Oh, thank you. I am going to holster my revolver, and I think I'm going to attempt to start an exorcism because that's a thing that I can do.
It is indeed. So, you've got your holster, you've got your BPRD vest, so you're able. You have things close to hand. You're able to pull it out. So, exorcism is classed as a ritual, which is our version of spellcasting, but supersized. So the way this works is that you need to make me a intelligence occult roll to see how well you remember the wording of the rite.
Cool. Oh, okay. What is my? Oh, it's here. Occult, you say?
Yep.
17.
More than enough. So which you would hope for a reverend remembering an exorcism. And then the way it works is so as your action, you roll a charisma check because it's your force of will. You're trying to force the spirits to do what you want. But instead of rolling 1d10, you roll your proficiency bonus, which is 3.
Ooh.
For every point of doom or ingenuity, you get an additional success. You're trying to reach either the ritual level, which in this case is 2, or in the case of exorcism, for every additional success, you deal more damage.
Nice. Yeah.
So you've got the skill check itself, which can be a success or failure. And then you've got the doom and the ingenuity. But of course, if you have a ritual that's powered more by doom than anything else, things happen.
Let's give it a go. So I'm sort of picturing, I've stowed the sidearm. I've taken out surely a book, a Bible or something, and probably reached within the vest and pulled out the crucifix on a chain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm now reciting something angrily.
I'm fairly sure that, to the Bible is already taped all of the exorcism supplies just for this exact moment.
Absolutely, yeah. And all the pages are folded over in the right places, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So, charisma, so 14 on the thing.
Okay,
I've rolled
that's
2 ingenuities.
So that's
which is
3
4 because of the thing that Mona did, is that right?
It is. So that's then 5 successes. So 2 makes the ritual happen.
Yeah.
And then for every success over that, you deal an additional D8 of psychic damage. So it goes from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 D8 psychic damage.
Well,
Reverend.
See, me yelling at people does work.
5d8. Okay.
So rather than spells being a question of spell slots, it's a question of bigger spells either take more people or longer to do.
Nice.
Okay.
You're
rummaging.
I'm sure that in the edit, Matt, you can speed this up.
No, I'm going to leave it in.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. We just do a montage of James rummaging through his dice box. 7, 10, 16,
I'll zoom
20,
in on you.
25 in total.
25. She'll double that to 50 because she is a ghost.
Yep.
But it's one of those things of she's obviously immune to physical damage, but
Yeah.
she's open to
This is the thing.
which is why having odd team composition can really make a difference.
And I think the other thing that's noticeable here is that the slightly sort of bantery facade is just dropped, and it is full on fire and brimstone, power of the Lord, you know, kind of stuff going on.
I don't remember there being brimstone in the movie, but it's Jeremiah. Okay, so Marcus, as you pick yourself up and pick up your flashlight and your sidearm, you go to train it on where the creature was, but she's no longer there. And instead, as you sweep around, you hear a creaking sound, and hanging above the bed, still by that unseen note with her head tilted a little bit too far around and her jaw hanging, she hangs there. But this time the dress seems more etheric and she seems more tangible, more real. You can see the signs of decomposition where skin has been eaten away and parts of it are mummified around her eyes, and her eyes are darting around. She is present.
Oh man.
Marcus, what would you like to do?
Big risk. Big risk. I want to try and un-noose her.
Okay. Make me a strength athletics check.
Oh man. Okay.
And whilst we're resolving that, we can head over to Mona.
Mhm. Shoot the thing. Shoot the thing. Shoot the thing. That's what I got here. So I think I'm just going to shoot it in the face again.
BPRD does not believe in kneecapping.
Absolutely no.
That is
no.
cruel and unusual punishment, and
Yeah.
it's against the Constitution.
So that's a 15 and a 12.
Both hit.
3 and just oh, that's another point of doom. And then a not doom.
Point of ingenuity that then doubles.
Yeah, no, it wasn't ingenuity, it was just not doom.
It was
Not
just
not it was just I'm not marking successes in points of ingenuity, I'm marking them in not causing any more doom. Right, so the first attack is 6 and then the second attack is 9.
Okay. Kind of recoils back slightly at that.
Ha.
It's then its go, and it's going to kind of coil up and leap at you.
Oh.
Can you make me a strength athletics check?
Oh god, strength athletics. Okay, well I'm actually quite good at these, hopefully. Plus 6, that's a 17.
Okay, so you're able to sidestep it and it basically impacts the wall behind where you were. You're able to kind of step out of the way of it. So it kind of snarls and picks itself up.
Cool.
And then with that, we are over to Francesca. Marcus, what do we get on the athletics check?
14 and no doom.
You're able to, having been in that situation, you have become an expert in what you would have liked the help to have been, and you're able to unhook her, and she doesn't fall like a sack of potatoes like you did. She kind of glides down and remains about half a foot off the floor, and her head kind of turns around, but it's one of those things of, as it kind of like turns around, you can hear the broken vertebrae clicking and clacking.
Oh god. Okay. Grand.
Panicking is a free action.
Yeah. Told you, I'm very good at flapping. I'm just going to. I don't know what the second part of my plan was.
I wasn't expecting it to work.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Okay, so as Francesca, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna kind of step back out since I was kind of sort of in the doorway anyway.
Yep.
And so it says that I can continue to manifest my psychic abilities.
Yes. So on your turn, you could expend your action to go, I'm going to continue manifesting and do something. And that can be psychic invasion, seance,
So
psychometry.
does that mean I can swap targets?
You can indeed swap targets if you so wish.
So I'm not going to lie. I was trying to read up on some of my stuff. Is the frog still alive?
The frog is still alive.
Wonderful. I'm going to psychic the frog.
The frog monster, or are you going after the tiny actual frog?
Kill the tiny frog. He's the
Kill the
mastermind.
tiny frog.
Look, if we can get one victory out of tonight, you know?
We already have. The mirror's dead.
Fair.
No, the frog monster, preferably.
Okay, sure thing. Make the opposed charisma check.
Do I
The
need
reason
to roll
that-
to make sure I can still manifest it, don't I? And I
only
roll
if you-
3d10.
Only if you've taken damage.
Oh. It says, sorry, just because I was reading. It says the psychic can continue to channel their powers as an action on their turn for up to 1 minute by repeating the charisma save and rolling 3d10 for doom and ingenuity. If the charisma saving throw fails as part of the sustained use, the psychic deal takes 1d6.
Yep.
And then for each point of doom
I'm
and
trying to stop you
ingenuity
generating more
generated-
doom, but sure, go for it. I'm trying to throw you a lifeline here.
Nah, it's okay.
Roll more dice. Roll more dice.
Love it. Well, you're welcome, by the way. So there's no doom, but there is 1 ingenuity.
Yay! And you get an extra ingenuity because of my
Yeah.
advanced teamwork. So that's 2
And
Oh
my
God,
charisma
yeah.
saving throw was a 19.
Which is enough, so make the
Yep.
opposed charisma check.
So I got 2 ingenuity and then not another one. And that, oh. Let's hope you rolled low, guys.
What did you get?
7.
Would you like to boost that with some of your new ingenuity, perhaps?
Yes, I would, please.
Okay. You can spend 1 point and then pick to use the other one, or you can spend 2 points straight out the gate. It's up to you.
Start
it's
with 1
by-
and see where that takes me. So that would be 11.
Do you want to spend a second point?
With that tone, yes, I would. That's 14.
I try and help you. I try and throw you some extra ingenuity. And what do you do with it?
Okay, here's an interesting one. Because Doom and Ingenuity, we can make a deal. I will.
Oh, no.
I will give you that one if I get another point of Doom.
No. I will take my own psychic damage. I'm not giving you more doom.
You're taking one
I
for the
will die
team.
painfully in the eternal
Yeah.
hell. Okay, so you reach out with your force of will, and even though this thing, it has no willpower of its own, somehow through the mysteries of the universe, it is able to overcome. Perhaps it's the fact that your ears are ringing and it's been a weird day. And then we're over to Alexandra with the remaining frog monster.
Not to shoot myself in the foot, but aren't I supposed to take damage from that?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I'm going to leave you to the resolve that, and then I can come back and cackle once I've resolved this.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was something you wanted to roll or whether you wanted me to roll my own damage.
Oh no, I am that mean. I will make you roll your own damage.
I take 6 points of psychic damage. That's fine.
Can I just quickly slip in a question? Those
Yep.
insight that I rolled on the exorcism, do they also give me points of insight?
No, they are basically additional successes. So rather than doing it for 5 rounds, you are able to short circuit it and spend it immediately.
Cool.
I'm going to try a focus approach, Alex, on this one. So again, it's another focus test. If
Mhm.
successful, I can just add a straight d6 to each amount of damage.
Yep, it's the idea that BPRD Consultant Special Science Service, although they don't fire as many rounds, they know where to put them.
Yeah.
So DC 10 con save.
So that is a 12 in total.
Okie dokie, that is a success because DC is 10.
And I have 3 uses of that, so that's one of those uses gone.
Yep.
And then I'll attack it. Oh, hang on. Let me make the. I didn't generate any Doom or Ingenuity.
Okay.
I'll make an attack roll of 15.
Yeah. 15, solid hit.
And again, no Doom or Ingenuity.
Yeah.
So that is nice.
Just realised I had do or
16
die.
16 damage, Alex.
16. So you, instead of shooting it center mass, you shoot it squarely in its open mouth,
Oh.
and you watch as the venom sac implodes, and it starts gargling and coughing it up as it claws and scratches at the wall before finally falling to the ground and spasming before going limp dead.
Mm.
Well done.
Is the that's my action, isn't it, I guess. Is the frog still around?
The little one,
Yeah.
it's at the end of the hallway, and it's got its head kind of cocked.
I'm going to slowly approach.
You do have a semi-automatic. If you really want to pop
no.
it, you could.
This is the grisly side of the clear action in the board game that we never actually see on screen.
Yeah, no, I would shoot it. I want satisfaction stomping on it, so I'm going to slowly approach.
Slowly.
Fun fact: in
No,
early drafts of the board game, you actually frog swarms were enemies, and you had to shoot them, and it just felt so inglorious. We took it out. It's like Hellboy, just picking off individual frogs. It just felt a little bit mean.
Yeah, we do have a text box, or we did, which was like, I shoot all the frogs. It's like there are more than there. They are everywhere. You're going to be here a while. Just stop.
That's a 4 magazine job, not a 3 magazine.
Oh
job.
yeah. If this was a year ago when we had 4 magazines, solid job. But no.
So in the room itself, the ghost, her head kind of spins around and then it locks back into place, and her jaw and with every kind of motion, it slowly starts contracting back to its place. You can see the red ring in her kind of greenish putrefied flesh of where the rope was. But you also note a couple of things, which that she has no fingernails. And outside of the room, can I get a wisdom? It would be perception, because you're trying to listen for things rather than put things together, from Alexandra and Mona. Can I get a intuition test of Marcus, Jeremiah, and Francesca? Can you make me an investigation check?
Of course. Ooh. 23.
Sorry, am I doing an investigation?
You're doing an intuition, wisdom,
Okay.
intuition. Intuition has replaced insight. It's the idea that you're putting yourself in someone's shoes rather than going, are they lying? Are they going to stab me? So
okay,
it's...
Alright. Oh, what do you
I just want
wanna
to
do?
make a note that there is no longer the additional insight, because it only lasts for 2 rounds. So we've already
Just
had
when
this.
I get one.
Sorry.
I got a wonderful 9.
Okay.
I got an unnatural 20 and then a 10 on my D10. So
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing I need to roll.
big 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So inside, Marcus, you get flashes, kind of images, stills, like a overexposed photograph.
Okay.
Of a staircase leading up to the 3rd room on the left,
Okay.
and there being a lock on, and there being a lock that's broken. And down the stairs, down 2 flights of stairs, or 2 sets of stairs rather, in a cold cave, 4 rocking cradles.
Oh god. Okay.
We should just burn this place and leave.
We
It's
should
a
just take off.
fixer-upper. Leave me alone.
Russia, we say nuclear from orbit.
Yeah,
It's the only way to be sure.
yeah.
So that was downstairs. Like I kind of had a.
Down
Okay.
2 flights of stairs. You've only come up 1 set of stairs.
Oh, okay.
So it's in the basement if there is a basement.
Mystery basement. We didn't see
Mhm.
like the same staircase that we came up went down. I'm
No, it
guessing.
didn't.
Okay, right.
No.
Oh, mystery basement.
And
Okay.
you also see it's one of those things. If she's unrecognizable in her current state, but ironically, it's the ruined clothing that you recognize as you see her, and she's being dragged by 2 men who look fairly similar. They could almost be brothers. And she's
No.
being dragged into the bedroom, and you can see the noose hanging from one of the
Okay.
from the top of the bed.
Called it. It definitely wasn't a suicide.
Yeah, no shit.
So
And you can, as you see the image, you feel the noose around your neck again. That sympathetic pain.
all right. I was gonna say, don't noose me up again. The burn's still. Okay.
Noose my medic up.
So yeah, there must be a basement. I had some weird visions.
Okay.
Downstairs.
What did we get on the investigation check, Francesca?
21. Was it 21? Let me check. 22.
22. Okay, we will return to that at a dramatically appropriate moment. Mona and Alexandra, what did we get on the perception check?
Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah, I missed
catch
that
that
as well.
one.
Sorry.
Perception one.
Yep. Wisdom perception.
14.
18.
Okay. You can hear movement downstairs.
I'm going to relay that across the radio. And they say, like, look alive, we've got more movement downstairs.
Okay.
Okay.
And as Mona says that, I'm going to stamp on the frog.
The wet squelch. The it
And
begins
then
to
give the boss a nod.
give the boss a nod. Mona, you look over at Alexandra to kind of reciprocate, but behind Alexandra, in the doorway behind her, you can see another frog.
Oh. Like a small frog or a big
Small
frog?
frog.
Smack you.
That was my son.
Philip, no!
Yeah, it's just pointing, aghast, like.
Surprise Pikachu face.
Yeah.
Baby frog.
Cool. I will
Oh
stow
no, why
the.
would you do that?
Yeah. I'll stow my exorcist kit.
Yep.
Dust myself off a little bit.
So
Yep,
is the spirit of Mary just still floating?
Once she gives you the images, she floats back through the bed and
Okay.
vanishes.
Okay.
You
Right.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Weird flashes. I mean, there must be a basement. That's what I had an image of.
I mean, I meant your neck, but that's good to know.
Oh, I'll sort that out later. Like, we'll add it to the list. How about that mirror? Is that all right?
Oh, the mirror's gone. The
Good
mirror's gone.
riddance. And I sort of
Jeremiah,
pick up a
the
shard
mirror-
of.
Is in one piece.
The mirror's gone. The mirror's what?
There is still the glass fragments from where you broke it on the floor, but the glass in the vanity is still whole.
Oh my god.
Okay. And I will just unload some more bullets into the mirror.
Okay.
I just sort of take his gut, like try to take his arm, like, oh. I'm still a bit rattled from everything that's just having been noosed, fully automatic.
If
Like,
you're going to stop me, I will stop. I'm not going to, yeah.
my ears are ringing.
You
Please.
saw me shoot that, right? You saw me shoot the mirror.
I mean, in between me being strung up and then you blasting, yeah, I'm adamant you shot it.
Right, I'm going to go over it. I'm going to... against my better judgment, kind of get up close and look at the mirror, like scrutinize it, and sort of.
The room that is mirrored back at you is not this room. There is not the there's not the remnants of the four-poster bed. Instead, it looks like a much more simple room, a much more kind of recent room, kind of more 1960s with the wireframe bed. And there are mirrors lining the walls and wall hangings that are all still fairly intact.
Okay, I'm just
Also, this
looking
room,
around.
the room in the mirror is smaller than this room.
Right, yeah. So looking into it, I'm just gonna get on the radio. We've got a haunted mirror in here.
Well, I just got attacked by a giant frog monster, so I really think a haunted mirror is really the least of our problems.
I don't know. I mean, we had a ghost in here. Do you want to just come and look at this for a second? Because
I'm just
seriously.
gonna-
Why don't you come and have a look at this?
Francesca,
Yep.
the trails of that creature, tracks, they stop halfway down the staircase.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna go to where the tracks stop,
You go to where the tracks stop halfway up the staircase.
and I'm gonna see if I can find like, such a typical D&D secret doors.
Oh, holes, yep.
I
You can
want to
make
see.
me intelligence investigation. You will have disadvantage
Wonderful. Oh, hang on.
because it is covered in newspaper clippings. Alexandra and Mona. So Alexandra stepped on the frog, had the reassuring squelch. Are you heading back to the room? Are you heading back to the staircase?
Sorry.
I will keep an eye on Francesca. Whilst you wanted to link up with the rest.
I was just gonna say, I can attempt a focus check as a bonus action to negate disadvantage on a skill
Yes, you
check
can,
I'm
because
proficient
you-
with.
Because you are an investigator and you are used to doing it in suboptimal situations.
So I shall make that focus check. 10! Exactly. I don't know if I had anything to it, but I rolled a 10, which I know is enough.
Yeah. Would you say that
But
you're
just-
rolling in a zone of danger?
Okay. So, so it'd be a straight
Okay.
roll then.
So Alexandra links up with Francesca as Francesca is investigating the staircase. Marcus and Jeremiah are freaking out over the mirror.
I'm just gonna do a quick status check over the rain. So, is anyone injured? Like, heard about the frog monster? Like, give me a status check.
It's dead, I think. I'm hurt, but I can carry on.
Nonsense. Let me come see you. Like, just not waiting for a reply.
Yeah.
So I'll go into the hallway. And
I'm following
try
you.
and
I'm not
find-
sticking here around the haunted mirror.
No, screw the mirror.
What I will do, before I go though, I'm going to pick up one of the shards of mirror on the floor from the, and just look into it briefly. Is that just a normal mirror?
It appears as you look into the shards of the mirror, the reflection. It's not a room. It's very dark wherever it is, but there's gravel on the ground, and the walls look like they're made of stone.
Okay. I'm just gonna. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open my Bible,
Mhm.
put that in the middle, and take it with us.
It makes a slight hissing sound. No.
I'll just make a note.
That's probably fine, right?
Probably fine.
Yeah.
So you all link up for the sake of brevity in the hallway.
I'm just gonna use, because I've got the ability Field Doctor. So I'm just gonna a creature that you expend a use of the medical kit on regains 1d6 of health, even if they're at 0. So
Yeah.
I'm just
So
gonna use
in
that.
Hellboy the RPG, so Marcus is a field agent, but he's also a field medic as his kind of specialization. So he specializes in holding people together with duct tape and generally making sure that they can stay in the fight. Getting up from 0 HP in Hellboy is going to be a bit trickier than in normal D&D. Normally, unless you have someone like a field medic or some ingenuity, it's a question of, well, they're going to have to rest up and wake up. So
Cool.
it's a question of, I'm on 3 hit points. I need to think about things rather than being able to know that you can bounce back up.
Okay. I can attempt to focus test as a bonus action to use it again. Is that because we're out of combat? Can I just use it again?
You can attempt to focus check as part of kind of that action. So sure.
Okay. Might as well, because like looking at, she's got like nasty wounds. So I'm just gonna.
Francesca, what was the total?
Total was 21 and no doom.
Okay. Do you have any ingenuity to spend?
Don't know if I do actually, because I think I used it. I've had to use it all for other things.
There we go.
So
So
You got
you
the
like
double doom. Did you use both of the double doom?
yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would
because
you like a point of ingenuity if I get a point of doom?
The fact that you're directly asking me if I have ingenuity makes me think that 21 is not high enough.
Well, if it was high enough, I would be telling you what you found.
Exactly. So sure, why not this time?
Okay.
I want to know.
So, Marcus is doing some healing. Alexandra is keeping a good eye on Francesca whilst she's investigating. And you find that it's not so much a secret staircase, but it's a question of this staircase has got a false back to it, and there is another staircase that leads down kind of parallel to it.
Ah.
And the tracks do continue down that staircase.
I will relay this over the radio. Guys, I found something over here.
Alexandra, can you roll me a wisdom perception check?
I'll just reply quickly with, don't go too far, yeah?
I am not moving until you join me.
if you see any mirrors, let us know.
How many hit points is Mona getting back?
That's an 18, but also a point of doom.
This is a very doom-filled place.
Yeah.
So much doom.
Doomed. We're all doomed. Right.
I don't think I've generated a point of ingenuity yet at all.
For people that are watching, usually it's the other way around, and I.
Honest.
Oh, it's good to know where the one's making doom.
So, Alexandra, where you're kind of keep an eye on Francesca and she's investigating the staircase, are you staying on the first level or are you going down to the ground level? And
So I'm going to. Are we on the kind of landing between the two floors? Are we?
yes.
I'm going to kind of step ahead of Francesca so I can see well down onto the ground floor, but stay on that landing.
Okay, because in that case, then can everyone? We'll use the same initiative as last time, but Alexandra, you will get a free. You'll get to act first because they are not expecting you to see them. As rounding the corner, is this one looks more well formed, by which I mean its long, thin arms have got more meat on them, and its legs are more proportionate to its hulking 6.5 foot tall body. However, this one, rather than the tongue kind of falling out, the tongue lashes out, and you're able to sidestep it as it was aiming at Francesca rather than you, as you see it round the corner. What would you like to do?
I'm going to shout, "Holy shit, we have another one!" And I'm just going to blast it in the face.
Sure thing. Mona, up on the landing, whilst you're getting some healing from Marcus, the doorway, one of the doorways between you and the balcony swings open, and a small frog jumps out, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and another one, and another one, as a frog swarm emerges. So, frog swarms, much like in the board game, they don't actively do anything awful. They just make you generate doom on one additional number. So on a 1 or a 2, because it happens so rarely with this group.
What you felt we needed was more doom.
Yeah.
So I'm there with them as well. Presumably I'm seeing this too.
Yes, you are.
I would like to potentially use my well-supplied ability,
Okay.
which is that I can remember that I happen to have a tiny or small item of equipment in my pocket.
Yes, you
No
can.
problem.
Is it frog repellent?
Yeah, let's go full Adam West Batman with this.
Yeah.
No, I think. I mean,
A Molotov?
I was going to say an incendiary grenade. Is that the sort of thing that BPRD tends to supply?
I mean, not normally, but you're a well-supplied individual,
certainly
so I'm
am.
fairly sure that you may have forgotten to hand in something unspeakable.
You know how it is.
from
You
your
get
last-
you get back to the locker room, you take your vest off, you forget to go out the pockets.
I know you said burn the house down, but now we're going literally.
I mean, it seems to me like it's damp enough that hopefully it won't catch.
Mhm.
I will say to myself
With
quietly
the amount
while
of doom we
throwing.
have? Are you sure?
Alexandra, what was the attack roll? Alexandra.
Oh, sorry, I haven't made it yet.
Okay, cool.
Am I able to make a focus check?
Yes, you are. As a bonus action, I assume focus approach or similar.
Just trying to find my character sheet again.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll
so-
try a focused approach again.
Yep, cool.
So that's the second use. I have one left after this.
Yep.
So that is just a 10.
Which is enough, because you're our main character.
Then I'll take the single shot.
Go for it. Jeremiah, whilst we're resolving that, you pull out not technically an incendiary grenade, because there's no way you would have got that through customs, but
Yep.
the closest legal equivalent to a wide-spanning thing, and I take it your intent is to roll it down the
I would
hallway.
like to bowl it towards those frogs and discourage them, shall we say? I would like to explosively discourage the frogs.
I'd like to roll a pamphlet down the street saying reevaluate some life decisions attached to a pin of a grenade.
Yes, that is my plan.
Okay, Alexandra, what do we get on the attack roll?
So a mighty 12, but it didn't generate any doom.
12 is enough, because they are not wearing any armor or they aren't particularly dexterous.
So that is... I rolled a 1 on damage, but I can re-roll ones because I have weapon focus, measured violence.
Yep.
Oh.
The Special Science Service, again, their training being very specific, but when it does come into play...
So that's 14 damage.
14 damage, a mighty hit. You were able to shoot it through its exposed tongue, and part of it falls off.
Oh, dear me.
Well, that's grim.
So, section of this barbed tongue falls to the ground, and it begins to writhe and recoil. Jeremiah, you pull the pin and roll your explosive argument down the hallway.
While muttering about something about how no, frogs are not what we need right now.
There is a wet squelch, and there is the hallway is redecorated in scent of frog. Fortunately,
Fantastic.
however, the house is damp enough and there's enough water flowing that it doesn't take to the walls or
Hurrah.
anywhere else.
I just pinch my mask a little bit more. Try
Yeah.
to get the smell out.
Francesca, you can see climbing up the staircase that you've discovered another creature. This one appears to be hulking some kind of... It must be like a part of furniture or a crowbar.
I'm
And it's
gonna
scrambling up the staircase.
back up the staircase where the others are a little bit.
Yep.
little bit of distance.
So you back
can I-
up just in time to hear the whoom as the grenade goes off.
Yep, I'm going to draw my firearm and take 2 shots at it.
Sure thing. Is that everyone at the top of everyone apart from Jeremiah's intent at the top of the staircase once this gets pointed out?
I can just
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll some attack rolls.
So that is I've done this as a +4. So that is a 10 and a 19.
Both hit.
Oh yay! And no ingenuity and no doom.
Mhm.
So 2d10.
Cool. So Marcus and Mona, Francesca started shooting something down the stairway, you're able to see that there's another creature climbing up, and you can hear Alexandra swearing in a multitude of languages whilst shooting at something.
Well, I'm going to run forward then and see if I can get a decent look at whatever he's shooting at and continue to shoot at it.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
So the damage was exactly the same on both rolls. 17 points of bludgeoning damage for both.
Okie dokie. So that's that. Marcus, what would you like to do?
I think I've got to try and get. So we're currently on that staircase, aren't we?
Yeah.
Is it a bit tight right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I think is there enough room for me to get an angle as well?
Yeah, there is, because you're on the landing. You can kind of weave. It's a shooting gallery, really, with them climbing up.
I mean,
I like to think that Francesca isn't very tall either. You know, I'm a shortstop, so she should be a shortstop too.
All right, yeah, let's get rid of this frog. So I'm gonna hop in and take a shot.
You do have an ability called Name Them and Break Them as a doctor.
Yeah, so we'll go with that. So attempt to focus check as a bonus action. And I have advantage on
because you are
checks, well-oiled.
Yep, because you're a field agent and you're used to the only certainty being uncertainty.
That'll do.
I mean, this week it's giant frogs. Last week it was giant crows. The month before that it was giant bees.
And I still haven't got my £2.50
Not the
from
bees.
Hellboy. So that was an 18. I'll do my.
I like to think it's not the £2. It's not the $2.50 that stings. It's the fact that Hellboy invited you. And
He knew he didn't have the money.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not bitter. You're bitter. So no doom, but that was an 18 on the on that. So name and break them. So if successful, the first creature you damage with an attack suffers disadvantage in all attacks. That's handy. And I'm gonna make my double tap roll. I'll just gain advantage on this one.
Okay, so instead of making 2 attacks, a field agent just can pick to basically take an aim and make sure that it hits.
Just try and make sure I get some damage.
Mona, what do we get on the attack rolls downstairs?
Right, okay, so I'm shooting at the same one. First thing I'm going to do is say, this is going to hurt, which is a focus check as a bonus action.
Which lets you add your hit dice to the damage.
Yep, so I've got well-oiled, which means that my focus check is with advantage. So that means that I'm getting a 13 for my focus.
Which is enough, because the DC is 10.
Yep, and so that means that when it says add your hit dice to the amount rolled of damage, with double tap I make 2 attacks. So is it a D10 added to one of those 2 shots or to both of them?
If you want to spend the hit dice, so if you want to spend 2, bearing in mind you only have 5.
Yeah.
Sure, because you are a heroic character.
Okay, I'll do both. Oh, I've got to do my D10 on the focus. That was fine. And then I'll just check.
Marcus, what do we get on the attack roll?
22.
Definite hit, so it's going to suffer disadvantage on everything, as Marcus has quickly learnt from viewing the corpse. Okay, they don't have a bone structure, but they must have some kind of support system. The throat seems to be the central thing, so you put a round firmly in there, and the mucus kind of explodes over its eyes, blinding it mildly.
Lovely.
That's horrendous. Cool.
Roll for damage on that?
Yep, so that's 2d10 as a sidearm.
So that was a 13.
13.
Bludgeoning.
And it's blinded, it trips, and then it goes limp and falls to the ground dead. Mona, what do we get on the damage?
I got a 19 and a 14.
So, Alexandra, you've been engaged with this one. You've shot part of its tongue off, and then Mona rounds the corner and puts 2 rounds solidly into its face, and it crumbles to the ground, dead.
Bazooka.
Hey.
Take that. And no doom on the rolls.
Cool. There we go.
Okay. So I take it you're heading down the secret staircase.
I'm
Yep.
not going first.
Who is going first, and who's
I
going
will
last?
I will go first with my my torch and my gun raised.
What I will
Okay.
do before we head down, I'll sidle up to Mona, open the Bible, take out this chunk of mirror, and say, "Look at that, and tell me that is not weird."
I'm going to look a bit shocked and say, when I said I felt like I was being watched, I had a flash of a place like that. I think it might be the place that we're going to now.
Well, let's go back away.
I have a feeling this place does not like us in the least.
Mm.
I would
I
like
mean,
to
it's
be...
fairly mutual.
Yeah, I'd like to be somewhere in the middle, preferably close to Alexandra.
Yeah, I'll post a second. Just
Okay.
feeling good.
I'll rear guard. Why not?
Okie dokie. So you head down the staircase. It doesn't open into a doorway. It opens into a wardrobe where there is a moth-eaten suit that looks like it's kind of Prohibition era that you recognise from the gangster movies, and a moth-eaten, rather high-end set of crushed velvet occult robes with the pentagram on the back that's been moth-eaten away. You open the doorway of the you open the wardrobe rather, and you find yourself into a rather macabre looking library. The scent of mold is very strong, but the smell of opium and hashish seems burned into the very foundations of this room. In the center of the room is a chase lounge with a long broken legs, a sofa with a broken spine, 2 chairs reduced to little more than firewood. In the corner of the room stands a liquor cabinet filled with aging bottles of champagne and half-full bottles of cognac. And to the right is a plain white door with a tiny brass plaque that reads "The Temple of Contemplation."
Totally normal sort of place then.
And the walls are lined with these leather-bound tomes. Can I get a group occult check? Intelligence occult.
13, I say.
Would anyone like to use one of their teamwork uses so people can generate or ingenuity?
Well, I generated ingenuity anyway.
I can do my enhanced teamwork so that anyone else can get the extra ingenuity.
Okie dokie. Cool.
Okay, so it's 2 ingenuity.
Marcus and Alexandra and Jeremiah, what do we get?
17.
17, 18.
I rolled numbers 18.
And
18.
I got a 13, but if anyone got ingenuity, they get double.
Okay. Francesca, would you like to spend a point of ingenuity?
Sure.
Okay. You spend the point of ingenuity rather than boosting it. You would have succeeded at the check, but you get additional information.
Can I follow my recovered case file here, Alex?
You certainly can.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
So, Francesca, as you work your way through the tomes, they're all occult tomes, but you're able to recognize, well, that's a fake, that was debunked, that's a misalignment of 3 mistranslations that were then copied down backwards. They're all high-end versions of them, but a lot of them are fake, but there are like specks of truth.
One's the Necronomicon. Wait, what?
Klaatu.
Alexandra, with your recovered case file, you remember there being an incident of the Special Science Service recovering a similar library in one of the recovered territories, and what threw off the investigation was that the cult had misspelt or mistranslated the name of the creature that they served.
Okay.
And you do recognise with your recovered case files the Laminis Grammata, which is a tome which was sought after by Project Ragnarok at one stage, the German World War II effort into the occult. You see references to it in some of the notes on the desk, and it must be buried somewhere in amongst all these books.
I'll relay that. Well, obviously, I guess myself and Francesca talk about it and just relay it to the team.
Yep.
Did I pull out the name of the misspelled? Ship or?
It was Sogarath, I believe.
I'm sure it sounds fine. It's the sort of thing you name a puppy.
So I'm guessing there's a usable tome here somewhere in amongst this.
I mean, I'll happily search, but I've got no idea what I'm looking for.
I'd happily set fire to this entire room. Just put it out there.
Having that name, like looking through all the books, things, did I find anything with that?
It's a question of the toming question. By the looks of it, would probably be given the fact that there are genuine occult tomes in here. It's one of those things that there is enough occult things here that there is clearly kind of a camouflaging effect taking place.
Okay.
And where you take them down, they've swapped some of the spines, so you'd have to bring them down. You think it would take you about 20 minutes? Quicker if you were to expend uses of teamwork, for example?
Yeah, do we want to do that, guys?
No, we're in a huge rush and we could be attacked by frog monsters at any minute. Surely.
How much quicker can we do it? Is the question. Like
every use of teamwork reduces it by 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So if we used 4 uses of it, we could do it like almost immediately.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we do that.
No.
Okay. So
Fine.
HQ would definitely appreciate us bringing this ritual book back.
Okay, I'll use one of my teamworks then, so that we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then is someone else marking off more of theirs?
Yeah.
I will mark off mine.
And mine.
Okay. Because teamwork is a field agent ability for those watching.
It says here that you generate an extra point of ingenuity.
If you generate one, yeah. But it's also a feat by which agents can overcome time-consuming tasks.
Okay.
So this is not the first time that you've had to do it. You get a daisy chain going, and you're able to search through, and eventually you come across the tome with the macabre drawings where someone's tried to translate the unspeakable words that were not designed to be spoken by a human mouth. And you find within there 3 rituals of note that you think are legitimate. One that summons forth the disciples of the dragon or the children of the dragon.
Let's try that one.
One that it's the Doctor Strange thing of they put the warning after the spell. One of them that weakens the gifts of the Father, and one of them that takes back the favor of the spawn.
So we want to do the takey backsies one, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
Good.
right.
All of them require a pentagram circle.
Okay. Or we could just go and kill the remaining monsters that are here. Didn't someone say something about 4 cribs? We've already killed 2 of them.
3 of them.
I think if we're democratically taking opinions here, I'd like to state for the record that I'm not necessarily down with the idea of the pentagram circle ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like maybe a dodgy ground to be walking on.
Yeah, I think that there's easily a chance of misinterpretation there.
Well, that's what was going to be my next question was, can I spend a little bit of time with the ritual to see if I can try and understand it? Like, understand what it will actually do and, yeah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
make me a intelligence occult roll, and that will take 5 minutes. Well,
Yep.
10 minutes. During which time, I guess, is the rest of the team going to push on and try and find the one remaining crib or one
Yeah,
remaining
I
thing?
think someone should stay. I'm happy to stay back and keep an eye here if you like. While Francesca's doing the research, I'll stand guard.
I'm gonna push on.
I'll push on.
17.
Yeah, I'll push on. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
is there
follow
another door in this room apart from the one? I'm guessing.
There's the one that you came through, and there's one to the Temple of Contemplation.
Well, let's go in there then, shall we?
Love a good temple of contemplation. Yeah.
So you open the door, and with floorboards covered in a thin layer of water, this once mighty temple with pews building up to a depiction of Baphomet, the goat god, with a pentagram, with a altar that has a rather nasty-looking serrated knife resting on it, and
Lovely.
Well,
Okay.
can I get a intelligence occult or wisdom investigation if you're going to kind of search the temple and try and find what there is?
I want to investigate.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
take that.
investigate. I think.
I'll take
Okay.
that.
I'll do. That will be a 11. for
On
me.
the occult check.
Yeah, the occult check.
This temple is a fraud. It's not right. There's that statue is confusing two different interpretations of Baphomet. In fact, actually, you don't recall him having a tentacle hand.
oh no.
In any of
Okay.
the ones. What did everyone else get?
I got 18 plus 7, so.
So in the pews, you find a secret drawer, and
Ooh.
£10,000 in pre-war currency kind of floats out. Alexandra, what did you get?
15.
You find, as you're checking the doors, looking for hidey holes, you find that one section of the wall is actually a door, and it's hollow.
Hello.
And it sounds like it's a door to another compartment or another room.
I'll just signal to the team and point my flashlight at the wall.
I'm gonna regroup with Reverend,
Mhm.
because you stayed behind, didn't you?
Yeah.
And just sort of make you aware, because I think like if we just get full strength as we push on, because we don't really
Yeah.
know what's happening. Sort of come back and let you know what's happening.
So when that happens, I'll kind of look over to Fran and say, you
Yeah.
know, how you doing? You got much more to do?
The ground shakes.
Oh god.
Oh,
Love
that
it.
might have just answered your question.
Yep.
I've checked my EMF sensor.
It is going from nothing at all to full whack. Nothing at all, full whack. And it's going to full whack after the ground stops shaking.
So that was
I
a
don't think that looks good.
7. So it was a 17 on the occult thing, and I did roll another point of ingenuity.
Okay.
Hey.
If you
Yay,
spend
unicorn dice!
if you spend that point of ingenuity, I will give you an additional answer.
Yeah, I'll take that. I want to know as much as I can about this book.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ritual that takes back the promise of the spawn is probably the one that will reverse whatever was done to these creatures. The one that takes back their favor, it sounds like it binds them more to the rules of this mortal plane, so perhaps makes them easier to dispatch. But the one that reverses it, that sticks out. And you do think that you could perform it. You do, in the team, have a rapid deployment ritual kit. You would just need to find a pre-drawn pentagram circle that's been consecrated in the blood of another creature.
Mental note for the future: we just get one of those on a roll-out tarpaulin.
Yeah.
I
That's
will.
what- That's funny enough. That's mostly what a rapid deployment ritual kit is. It's a pre-cut thing of stencils that the boffins have done with some spray cans.
That's good.
I will go to the Reverend and let him know what I have found,
Mhm.
and just be kind of like, and kind of say like, I think I can perform this. This will reverse whatever has been done to these
Boom.
creatures.
How confident are you with that?
Like
There's
99.999%.
begging.
Because
There's begging.
I don't know if
Be
I want to
ready. Be prepared.
messing around with things.
How many-
if you're
how many
confident, then
people-
do it.
I am confident, but I need a pentagram that has been whatever he said about blood and stuff, but words.
We need to get ready
Surely
to
in the
repel an
temple
attack.
there'll be one, maybe?
I'm going to back away from the false door with my gun and flashlight, train with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
the
training
false
a-
wall's been like it's been moving where it's. Yep. So
How many people do we need for the ritual? Like, is it a multi-person, or can we all cover while this is happening?
Francesca, you're the only one with access to the book, so it's going to be a one-person job.
Okay, I can cast it, but you guys need to defend me.
All right. I think the ritual's got to happen then.
Yep.
Um,
I'll hit the
I trust you.
radio and say, okay, weird question. Is there a pentagram in there on the floor, like a ritual circle?
Can we see one?
Did we see one in the room where
Yeah.
the
There
false
was
door
one, but
was?
I don't know if it was fake as much as the temple is.
Or
The
is there-
pentagram appears to be. It's got the blood stains of that's similar to the knife, and it seems to be one of the few things that is done correctly in here.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right,
I will
let's do it.
head down there to where they are
Yep.
with the book.
The
Gonna be a
stomping
bit-
stops.
Ooh, okay. All
I've
right.
So,
got my
for
gun
reference-
trade.
So, for reference, there is the section of wall that is fake, and then about 15 foot to the right of that, about 15, 20 foot up on the altar is the pentagram.
Okay. Right, let's do this. Time is of the essence, I think.
So,
So I've got the pentagram. Is there anything else that I need?
You have a rapid deployment ritual kit which has the candles, the lighters, and the spray cans with the rooms that you're able to kind of recut as needed.
Not that I know much about satanic rituals, but I've watched enough horror films, right? Do these creatures need to be in the pentagram? Is that something we need to try and get sorted? Or is this something that I can just cast and it's just going to happen?
You haven't
Normally
quite had
you
time to.
sacrifice the creature in the pentagram.
I think what Quinn knows, Francesca knows on this, because I think with the quick reading of this is the important one and this isn't there, but you think maybe that at least towards the end of it, if the creature was inside the circle, that would be definitely better.
Okay, we need to try and get these creatures into the pentagram if we can. So
So
The fake
Oh.
section of wall doesn't open, it flies off its hinges 30 foot into the back of 40 foot into the back of the fake chapel.
Totally fine.
I
Probably
start casting the ritual.
Bang,
Alright.
bang, bang.
To
Yeah,
fix
go
it
Bang,
up.
bang, bang.
Gone out, yep. This is for real estate. Yeah, let's just cover and get in there, and then
Okay, so
guess
top
this
of the
lets
round.
quick you
So
up.
Francesca, make the occult roll, the occult check to see if you can get your mouth around these weird words.
Also, sudden quick question. This is like the 1990s, right?
Mhm.
Okay, Francesca has seen enough Buffy to know how this works.
Yeah.
And I do a point of doom. No, I roll to see if I generate point. I don't roll a point of doom, but I did roll a 19 plus my occult. So that's 25, guys!
Nice.
When it
Okay.
matters.
So everyone else, so emerging out of the darkness and the edge of your light, standing up into the chapel, its head reaching the ceiling, best part of 15, 20 foot up, its face a mattering of knotted tentacles and goop and saliva falling out of it, a hive of small amphibious eyes all moving out of sync.
Nice.
Ah,
Have
long
we got?
mus-
Oh, sorry, go on.
long, muscular arms ending in fat, taloned fingers, each one the size of the chest of one of the frog monster creatures.
That's bad.
Can everyone
Oh,
please
yeah.
make me a wisdom save?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Have we got any insight?
Giant frog
Uh,
monster.
Sorry, ingenuity on the investigation sheet. We haven't, have we?
You do not. However, with the occult check from earlier, if
Ooh.
Francesca has any ingenuity to add, she can add one of those to it.
I do have one ingenuity left, actually. So very quickly, I rolled a 1 for my saving throw, but I still have my unmatched focus, I believe.
Do you have
So-
do or die?
Oh yeah, I've got do or
Ooh,
die.
I'm
Oh
going to
my
use
God.
that.
Oh, thank God I rolled a natural.
I
one.
have, yeah, no, I have. Okay, so no, I do have do or die as well, but I feel like I should use my unmatched focus at this point.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
a 1.
I feel like I don't know if I can stack on rolls, but either
Yeah.
way, I'll use my do or die.
Cold approach does apply, Alexandra.
I rolled a natural 20. So.
Oh, that time was a 15. It was a wisdom saving throw, you said,
You
right?
took
Have
our
a point
rolls,
of
Alexandra.
ingenuity.
My wisdom
Point of ingenuity.
You rolled
gain
a
one.
Yes.
on ability checks and rolls up on ability checks and certain saving throws. If you don't generate do more ingenuity, you get a point of ingenuity. Because that 20 should never go to waste.
I've got an 18, and I didn't roll a doom point, so that's good.
16 and no
Oh,
doom.
I
Got a
always
7.
forget the doom. I also generated ingenuity. I forget
Hey.
to roll that every time. Yeah, so with my new roll from doing the unmatched focus, it is a 17.
Right, so Jeremiah, you've seen
7.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Ghosts. No big facts. Frog monsters. Bit weird. This is weird.
This broke me.
Like, this is the mirror all over again. Break it once, then it just comes back bigger.
Oh man.
So what's going to happen is that everyone that succeeded on the save is going to be able to act this turn, but Jeremiah just loses himself a bit with the
Yep.
this is weird, this is not right, and the stench coming off this thing. What you can see, there's almost a small ecology on its toughened hide back, growths and all manner of things.
Lovely.
Nice.
So, Mona, what would you like to do? Shoot it in the face?
Shoot it in the face. What? How did you know?
Uses psychometry.
Shoot it in the face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll do this in kind of players, creatures. So anyone that wants to attack the creature, please make your attack rolls now.
Yep.
And because I'm aware of the time. Francesca, make your charisma check with the 3d10 for casting a ritual. The magic number against the giant frog monster, it's a bit tricky to miss, so it's only got an AC of 10.
Oh, thank God. I got a
waste of
12 and a
19.
13. I got a 12 and a 13, so that means that's 2 hits. So I'll just do my damage, which is 11 and 19. Those are 2 very true shots.
Okay. Cool. Jeremiah is currently befuddled. Alexandra?
I just made my focus test for
Mhm.
focus approach. So that's my last use of that.
Yep.
I will make an attack test.
Cool.
Oh, hang on. I didn't. So the 18 is a hit.
Yep.
I'm going to spend my point of ingenuity for extra damage. So that should be an extra 2d6.
Yep.
On damage. Throw my dice across the room, 2 seconds.
I'm surprised that hadn't happened sooner.
No, it's gone. I'm just going to have to roll it lots of times. I can re-roll once, can I?
Yes, you can, because you have measured violence.
Does that include the d6s, the bonus d6s?
Yep, it's a damage roll, so it's one of those things of it's only on ones and it's only on rather than other things, but it's on everything.
So that's 20 points of damage.
Solid hit.
Take that.
Okay. Marcus.
Is the Reverend in any is he in any real point of danger right now while he's having his fit?
Luckily, you're still partly away from the room.
Okay.
You think it might just be the shock of not. It's less a question of he's standing there slack-jawed, and more a question of in the split seconds when the creature emerges.
Grand. So in that case, I guess we'll get blasting. So I rolled my name and break 'em.
Yep.
So I've got +4 in the damage. I did roll double tap twice. So and they were both 19, which
Both
I'll
hit.
take. So I guess I'll roll my damage.
And it gets disadvantage on everything, which will come into place.
Okay. So 2d10. So that's 14 points of bludgeoning.
Okay. Cool. And Francesca, what do we get on the d10s?
Oh, unicorn dice coming in so strong. Natural 20 and a point of ingenuity. Both with the unicorn dice, guys.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a check rather than it's a check. So you that will be 2 successes in essence, then a third one from the point of ingenuity. So you think you're over halfway done with the ritual.
Okay, nice.
Don't
let it hit me, guys.
My poor frog monster then gets a go.
Oh yeah, the poor thing.
Yeah.
Just down here doing no trouble to anyone, some pesky field agents. So that's going to be a 12 into you, Marcus, to hit.
That's my AC is 12.
So because you're a main character, that misses.
Oof, you lucky thing.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
that's going to be an 11 into you, Jeremiah.
Oh. So what, 11 damage?
To hit.
AC.
Oh, that's the hit, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
You're going to take 18 points of acid damage.
I'd prefer not to. I'm still standing.
No, isn't Jeremiah's AC 11?
Yes.
No,
Oh, you have
it's
to
10.
beat, don't you, in this? It is
You
11.
have to beat
Yeah.
it, yeah.
In which case, yes, I protagonist powers protect me.
Protagonist. Good spot, Quinn.
Alexandra, it goes to kind of like, so it's sneezing out this bile, it's like vomiting it out at you. However, as it kind of snarls up again to shoot in your direction, Alexander, it mistimes it and globs on itself. And you watch as it kind of like sizzles off its hide.
No.
That ain't right.
Okay. And then with that, we're back to the top of the round. Francesca, make the 3d10s charisma check.
Come on, Francesca. Big unicorn
Ryan,
roll.
we're using the unicorn dice again. Let's go. It's doing well for me.
I know, I think Matt should roll for you. He's not rolled enough dice today.
So no ingenuity, and the charisma unfortunately was not so good this time. Is it charisma saving throw, you said?
No, it's a charisma check.
Oh, it's just, for me it's the same number. So that is 10 exactly.
Okay, so that's one more success. However, you have a point on the investigation sheet. So,
Oh, and I have my own point of ingenuity as well.
okay, if you
I
spend them
generated
both,
one
you've
earlier.
got enough.
Yes, I do it. I do it. I spend all the ingenuity.
So
Brilliant.
as the team fire off more shots, this creature rolls up, and before your eyes, it pops like a zit
Oh,
into this
Hey.
black bile spewing out over you, and then in there, as you kind of like blink and break it off, you see a slender man in his 40s, no, his 50s, his 60s, as he ages before your eyes, as the march of time catches up with Arthur Uxley, and he meets his final end. And as
I'm
you-
gonna, oh, no,
Yep.
okay. I'm gonna double tap.
In with the steel chair.
aging before your eyes, Marcus, one shot into the back of the knee, one shot centre forehead.
Yep.
As time continues to catch up with him, he dies. And as you climb up out of the staircase, going through the this stuff sticking to you like it's glue, and it stinks, and it's just mildly acidic. It's not enough to hurt you, but it just stings. As you wander out, you see in the driveway a turn of the century automobile, and a young man opens the door, and Mary steps in, and the car drives off over the horizon.
Oh.
Oh.
Out of
Yeah.
that basement, I'm totally going to take a bottle of old champagne and pop the cork.
Yeah.
But first, we need to go and have a shower before we do anything.
I'm
I
gonna
am
begrudgingly.
Taking that book with me.
yeah.
So Mona goes up and picks up the satellite phone and waits for a signal to line up and phones back to base camp. Meanwhile, everyone else reads the liquor cabinet, picks out the remaining bits of occult literature.
I grab Matthew's
Um,
toolbox.
Oh yeah.
Grab
Oh, yeah. What was through
Matthew's-
the broken door as well, by the way? It'd be worth a peek in there just to.
as you generally, it can't get any worse. You check out the rest of the house, go room by room.
No, I meant downstairs. We were in the temple, but the frog monster came through the.
Oh yes, you step through, and it appears to be a cave that looks very familiar to those of you that have had the visions. And you see that there is a pool in the center of it. The water is remarkably clear, and in the pool you can see the small tadpoles, and you can see small frogs hopping out. But as they hop out this time, they look sickly, and as they climb onto the ground, they kind of wheeze and fall over.
Oh, I've got a second use of well supplied left, so I have to bring 2 of those grenades. I'm just going to roll one into the wall.
I don't know if an incendiary grenade in a pool would do anything.
Shrapnel
better.
grenade. Shrapnel
So-
grenade.
So Jeremiah goes back to the liquor cabinet, takes one of the bottles of cognac, and goes, "Hang on a minute, where's the rapid deployment ritual?
I got
kit? I
this.
need a lighter. Hang on,
Yeah.
right."
Yeah.
As he grabs one, I make sure it's like the least expensive one. I'm like, that one. There you go. Don't want to waste it.
Would you trust drinking anything in this house? It's all been like contaminated. But yeah, and then I will call on the satellite phone and demand that we get a private jet with at least with several packets of like baby wipes and well-stocked bottles of water
Yeah.
to clean
And-
ourselves off.
Onboard shower.
Yeah, onboard shower.
Back in
Like
first.
an onboard jacuzzi, really, at this point.
The person in the field operations control room, it not being the first time that Mona has demanded a private jet, goes, "Of course, yes, as always, yes, and your flight leaves tomorrow at 3. Bye-bye, bye-bye."
Have you, Big Red?
Right, pub.
No,
Yeah.
wash,
I've
spa,
got 10
then
grand in
pub.
pre-war currency. Let's spend it.
Giant
Hooray!
pound notes. Hey,
Yes.
we did it.
Good job, team.
Cool stuff.
Survived.
Good job, Francesca.
Yeah. Do you guys want to see the fateful dice? They have literally
I
like
think we
little
have to.
unicorn heads on them.
Well done,
Oh,
Dice.
oh.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
And,
I have no idea what my die
little,
went. It just
little
flew across the room and disappeared.
And Alex, thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Alex.
that
Yeah,
was
thank
great.
you. That was
That was
abs-
good.
that was good fun. I loved it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
So,
Hello, everybody, and we will catch you soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hellboy the RPG coming to a Kickstarter near you.
Yeah.